11 that has participated in games to date, but a team.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. Sub-freezing temperatures expected from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Friday. This afternoon, sunny with a high near 52, temperatures falling to around 50, and gusty winds up to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, clear with a low around 29. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 53. Currently, it is 51 and mainly clear. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the
Building a house is hard, but have you tried removing one? Flood Brothers takes the mess out of demolition. With fast roll-off dumpster delivery, reliable debris pickup, and a family-owned team that takes service personally. Call 630-261-0400 or visit floodbrothersdisposal.com. Flood Brothers Disposal, proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
Before the weather gets too cold, it's time to finish up those outdoor jobs. That's why ComEd wants you to know that electricity can jump from a power line to you and to the tools you're using. So maintain a safe distance from any power lines. You can also call ComEd at 1-800-EDISON-1 to have those power lines de-energized the next time you do any work around them. Stay smart, stay safe, stay back. ComEd, powering lives.
Hello, America, and good day to our friends around the world. This is a political talk show here on WRMN. WRMN on that 1410 AM dial and WRMN1410.com. Those are the best places to go to learn all about the different ways to interact and be a part of the show. Not only just listen, but watch, text, all kinds of different ways. You can always text us 24 hours, 505-926-1410, 505-926-1410. That's where you can go 24 hours a day to text us. Whether it is a news article or maybe it's a picture of a landscape here in the Fox River Valley, or maybe you're doing some clean out or something and you got something to get rid of and put something out on Tradio. Maybe there's something you're in need of, and we can reach out to some of the people in our network to help you out. Send us a text, 505-926-1410. This is a political talk show. I am your host, Dennis Sonar Green. I'm also the moderator on Fridays. We've got some great people coming in. Cecilia Brooks will be in with us tomorrow as well. And we'll also have David Tees with us too. So stick around. Lots of different programming that's happening out through a political talk show and a few other places. You can always go over to YouTube, youtube.com, and find us right there, WRMN Radio. A political talk show is within those streams. The podcast is out there in the world too. Today we're going to talk about something that we can absolutely talk about both sides. We can talk about morality. And this is a unifying topic. It brings the left, the right, the libertarians, the Green Party. It brings everybody together. And it exposes people that abuse the executive, and not just this current administration, It goes back and back and forever and ever. We're going to talk about the constitutional restraint and the ethics of war. And we're going to take it from the libertarian approach, but from a specific one, Ron Paul. And it's different from me. My definition of liberty is different from a libertarian. I take the civic Republican approach to liberty, where it is non-arbitrary domination, right? We cannot just have somebody just arbitrarily making decisions and doing things. Checks and balances, having the people actually be able to speak up. Those things are what we Republicans actually want. Now, there's a lot of people that run around and say they're Democrats or say they're Republicans or say they're patriots or loyalists or whatever it is. But the definition of a Republican is the checks and balances that are in there. And so if you cheer on one party or one branch or one whatever taking over everything, you are not a Republican. And so as of late, the geopolitical landscape off the coast of South America has become a flashpoint in the debate over executive war powers. And this is where kind of the libertarian side and the Republican side of liberty come into play. Libertarians don't believe that the government should really have any say over anything. A few things here or there, maybe to just kind of make sure we have a steady currency, make sure that laws are upheld within the court system. But even then, those laws should be thin. They're part of a lot of libertarians believe that roads should be maintained privately. And so there's a lot of different things that are there. So essentially the way the libertarians take liberty, they take it from the approach of non-interference. I should be able to do whatever I want to, and the government shouldn't really be able to interfere, which is different than the Republican stance of non-arbitrary dominance. You can't just tell me what to do without some sort of check and balance that's within it, especially the check and balance of me having my say within the system. But South America has become a flashpoint with this right now, just like Afghanistan, just like any of the other places that have been out there. And we'll get into all of those when we talk about it today. But the U.S. naval and aerial operations have intensified across the Caribbean and the northern coast of Venezuela. The administration has authorized a series of strikes on vessels it claims are affiliated with Venezuelan criminal syndicate known as Tren de Agua and with the Venezuelan military. One such strike, the bombing of a small maritime vessel near Trinidad and Tobago, resulted in 11 deaths and has been widely condemned by international observers as extrajudicial attack on civilians, according to Reuters. The administration defends its actions under this pretext of counterterrorism and counter-narcotics operations. Meanwhile, U.S. Marines continue amphibious landing exercises in Puerto Rico, and the Department of Defense has deployed an attack submarine and multiple destroyers in the region, according to the Department of Defense press briefing in August. Right now, there is 10% of all of our maritime war operations in the Caribbean right now. Something is happening. What that is, I wish somebody would tell us. Other administrations have followed similar trajectories. So don't think that this is just a one-off. What we talk about all the time is why are we screaming about one person when we should be screaming about the office of the presidency? If you let one president do it, the next president will be able to do it easier. And we've been able to stack these powers on top of the executive branch for as long as I've been alive and longer. But other administrations have followed similar trajectories of this executive and wartime presence. The Obama administration institutionalized target killings through drone strikes in Pakistan and Yemen. The Trump administration expanded those operations, most notably in 2020, the assassination of the Iranian general Soleimani. And the Biden administration preserved much of that infrastructure using the over-the-horizon strikes in Afghanistan and Somalia. That was from a Pentagon statement even in 2022. This current administration has built upon these precedents, further eroding congressional oversight by employing the language of counterterrorism to justify lethal force in theaters where no formal state of war exists. And the reason we're bringing Ron Paul's arguments into this is because he has been yelling about this for decades. He has been talking about this. He has been writing about this very erosion of these war powers. The United States Constitution is drafted amid the Enlightenment with limiting arbitrary power. Explicitly, it separates the authority to declare war from the authority to conduct war. We've seen a lot of these walls get torn down, and that's there. We have that side, the authority to declare and the authority to conduct. If that's in one person, that one person can declare and execute without any check and balance. Article 1, Section 8 vests in Congress the power to declare war, raise and support armies, and make rules for their governance. Article 1, by contrast, or rather Article 2, by contrast, designates the president as commander-in-chief, a role operational rather than initiatory, right? Being able to initiate it. This division was not a formality. It was a structural safeguard against tyranny, an attempt to ensure that the gravest political act a republic can take, the decision to kill and be killed in its name, would require collective deliberation and accountability. In recent years, that balance has eroded. Modern presidency has unprecedented military authority through executive orders, covert operations, and loosely worded authorizations for the use of military force, the AUMFs. Figures such as Ron Paul have sounded a consistent alarm that these practices subvert the Constitution, endanger civil liberties, and corrode the moral legitimacy of the United States abroad. His critique is not merely procedural, it is ethical. By collapsing legislative deliberation into unilateral action, the executive branch transforms acts of war into acts of state violence without democratic consent. So we're going to talk about Ron Paul's core argument and the war powers and the Constitution in this hour of Apolitical Talk Show. Stick around. Love seeing you over there on YouTube. Leave me a like, a subscribe, maybe even hop in the chat. More Apolitical Talk Show with me, Dennis Sonar Green. We'll be right back after this.
Tune in to Big Top Sports
with Derek Geyer every weeknight from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
He'll have sports thoughts from the center ring of Chicagoland and to the outer rings from across the nation.
Weather from Chicago Cubs,
White Sox,
Bulls,
Bears,
Blackhawks,
Stars,
Fire,
Boomers, whatever the national story is of the day.
Geyer and his sports czar takes will either have you nodding in agreement,
Yelling at the radio,
or in all honesty,
a bit of both.
with the way the Chicagoland sports and sports are in general, there's bound to be
Thrills,
chills, and
oh my God moments. So get your snacks and libations ready.
because this is going to be a wild ride,
Big Top Sports with Derek Geyer's quirky and insightful Fanatics take.
will make you feel a little
or a lot better about your Chicagoland sports viewing experiences.
Tune in to Big Top Sports with Derek Geyer. Every weeknight from 6 p.m.
to 8 p.m.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Apolitical Talk Show here on WRMN. That's WRMN 1410 AM and WRMN1410.com. Best places to go to listen, watch, and interact with WRMN. Welcome back. We are talking all about war actions, war powers, the Constitution. Who's really in charge? Well, the way I see it, the Constitution and most things, right? I'll bring up what I do in the office usually. Somebody says, "Hey, I'm going out to get something to eat. Can I get you anything?" You say, "Well, I'm gonna get me a number one." Well, hold on a second. You don't know where I'm going. Of course, I don't know where you're going, but why would they put anything else but their best thing as number one on the menu? When I start reading a menu, I don't start at number two. I mean, I might jump around to maybe whatever segment that I want to get to, but I start reading from the top. That's how most of us do it. And so, number one, the best thing, the first thing, especially if I was going to meticulously write something that was going to set the precedent for a new birth country that you will hope will last at least 250 some years, you would put the most important thing one. Look at the Bill of Rights. The very most important thing. Speech, press, assembly, religion, all combined into one beautiful combo number one. So why would the rest of the Constitution not follow suit? Article 1 of the Constitution is Congress. The most important, the most flexible, the most representative. We have a literal house of representation. That's why they are number one. It's multiple heads. It is multiple people. It is even, ready for this, bicameral in the way that it is deliberated. It is not a single body that even does it. And so, why would we give all of the power to number two? Consolidate all the power to number two. Because it's easier, it's faster, it's more expedient. Okay, Hamilton, slow down a little bit. Yes, we do need a single point. But that single point is a leader in the fact that that leader of the executive branch executes the will of the most important branch. Number one, the most important branch makes the laws, declares war, has the power of the purse, and then tells the executive to execute those laws to the best of their ability. And then the third article, we get the referees of that system. But number one, Ron Paul's opposition to undeclared wars is longstanding and principled in numerous congressional speeches, op-eds, interviews. He has reiterated that the Constitution grants Congress alone the power to declare war. The president, he maintains, possesses no inherent authority to initiate hostilities unless the United States faces an imminent and demonstrable attack. As he remarked in a 2011 House floor speech. That's how consistent he is. We can go back that many presidents. He said in July 7th, 2011, the framers never intended for one person to take this nation from peace to war. The executive can repel invasion. It cannot commence invasion. His reasoning mirrors one of our favorites around here. James Madison from 1793 warned in a letter to his good buddy and pen pal, Thomas Jefferson. The Constitution supports that the history of all governments demonstrates that the executive branch most interested in war and most prone to it. It has accordingly, with studied care, vested the question of war in the legislator. Alexander Hamilton, often seen as favoring strong executive, nonetheless affirmed in Federalist number 69 that the president's military role is strictly limited. The president is to be commander-in-chief. This would amount to nothing more than the supreme command and direction of the military and naval forces as first general and admiral of the Confederacy. First general to execute the will of the legislator that is the representation of the people and the states. Senator Paul sticks with his guns. We've got a few more quotes about this constitutional authority. If you've got something you'd like to say, text it on over 505-926-1410, 505-926-1410, or leave it over there in the YouTube channel, youtube.com, WRMN Radio, a political talk show. We'll be right back after this.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. Lake and Will counties have joined a growing number of local governments, including Chicago and Cook County, in banning federal immigration officials from using their properties for civil enforcement activities. The Lake County Board recently approved the move in a 14-5 vote, with signage now being installed at 28 county-owned sites. Supporters say the actions protect immigrant communities from being targeted, while opponents argued for a more neutral stance to avoid escalating tensions with federal authorities. Similar measures are expected soon in North Chicago and Carpentersville. Aurora police are searching for 16-year-old Melina Granados, who was last seen around noon Friday in the 500 block of Parker Avenue. She's described as 5'4", 150 pounds with brown hair and eyes, and was wearing a black hoodie and black pants. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Aurora Police Department's Investigations Division. More than 1.9 million Illinois residents risk losing their SNAP food benefits starting November 1st if the federal government shutdown continues, as the U.S. Department of Agriculture has halted funding for November SNAP payments. Illinois officials warn this could leave many families, including children, seniors, and people with disabilities, without vital food support during a time of rising food insecurity and inflation. Local food banks are preparing for increased demand, but emphasize the need for federal leaders to restore funding and reopen the government to prevent widespread hunger. Last week, former and current Campton Hills police officers, including ex-police chief Stephen Miller, were indicted for allegedly selling guns illegally from the police evidence room between 2018 and 2023. Prosecutors say they also falsified and altered reports to cover up the sales and obstruct investigations. All four men turned themselves in and were released with restrictions, including a ban on possessing firearms and contacting each other. Miller faces 41 charges, including money laundering, forgery, and wire fraud. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to handle the busy holiday season, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. A frost advisory is in effect from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Friday. This afternoon, sunny with a high near 52, temperatures falling to around 50. Tonight, widespread frost after 11 p.m., clear with a low around 29. Tomorrow, widespread frost before 10 a.m., sunny with a high near 53. Currently, it is 52 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Welcome back to A Political Talk Show here on WRMN. We've got a lot of different things that are happening with this, and we're talking about the cigarette boats. First off, the cigarette boats cannot reach our shores. Can't do it. The fuel to weight ratio and whatever else that happens can't make it to here. So any of the drugs that would be on those boats can't make it to our shores directly from those boats. Now, you can say, well, they're running them to somewhere else, and then that place is sending them to, okay, sure. Then why aren't we blowing up Chinese shipping containers that have fentanyl in them? You know what I mean? It gets to a certain point. Now, here's the point that we've got also in the news. One of these boats had survivors. The survivors were picked up. The survivors were in custody for, I don't know, maybe a day or so. And then the survivors were released. And that is the paradox that we have here. If they are so bad that they need to be murdered on sight, why would you let them back into general population? That is the question that I've got with this, and why you have to adjudicate things. Why international law prevents any other person, any other entity from murdering another person, regardless of what you think they did, didn't do, or anything like that. It's why we have the court system. Now, we can say all day morality and ethics and should we punch a Nazi, right? Should we go that far with everything? It's the same slippery slope of going, well, you know what? He's bad. But I get it. I absolutely understand. John Adams was in the same boat, too, with that. When he talked about hanging tyrants and killing tyrants. Literal quotes. Kill tyrants as if you would kill a robber. John Adams. We talk about our rhetoric. That's a founding father who said resistance to tyranny is obedience to God. And so, what is more tyrannical than someone being able to point at you and say, you got the drugs, you're trafficking the people, we are going to immediately destroy you. Not overtake you, not board you, not take you into custody, not put you in front of a judge. We are immediately going to lock weapons and blow you up. I've got Dean DeLaley sitting in here with me. He's always taking the front seat of the audience here for a political talk show. Thanks for being here, buddy.
That's why he was a little late getting back. We were arguing about all of this. I get what you're saying.
Yes.
And I hear you loud and clear. Sadly, I always take the position of there's more good and people are good.
Mm-hmm.
Even with our government, I like to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Can't we say that their tactics are less than classy, or some will even say upfront? Yeah, sometimes they've had some problems with that. A little bit sloppy on the way they posture things, and the optics certainly don't look well. However, to what you're saying, you said they let people go.
Mm-hmm.
There's a piece that everybody hates when I say this: totality of circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
What were the full set of circumstances? If you have active investigation, and I'm thinking that in this, it's got to be like FBI, CIA type stuff, or military of some sort, has got to be making the investigations and identifying, yes, that's the boat. And how do we know that? Well, we've got photos, or we got them loading the cargo on there. Now, okay, so the survivor one, let's just take that one as a hypothetical. So, yeah, you got maybe 11, 10, 15 people on there. Not everybody on there is bad. Why? Because they got to keep their face clean. So they'll put regular people on here, with the, hey, you're coming with us. Because if they do get stopped, the bad guys are going to go below, and the other people are going to be, we're just taking a little ride to clean themselves up.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to agree that could be something that would go on. So that's why when they caught them, maybe they vetted their story, who they really were, and they did check things out, and then they let them go. Now, am I in imagination land? I don't know.
Okay, well,
maybe to a degree.
To your scenario, you were saying that the reason these people were let go was because they were innocent on this boat.
They could have been, yes, they could have been put in there by
our intelligence,
the bad actors, as they call them.
Our intelligence is so good that we know beyond any reasonable doubt, beyond anything else, that these people are bad, but we don't know that there are innocent people on there. Why shouldn't that be a reason we don't blow up without boarding? Because here's the thing, I've boarded. I was off the coast of Somalia. We pulled up to Somali pirates. We sat down with them. We trained our guns at them. We pulled up right alongside to where I could throw a softball through the thing. I like softballs better. They don't hurt as much. But you could throw a softball across the way. What we mostly gave them was supplies. Most of the time, they were just regular guys out there. But when we boarded them for good, solid 3 hours, searching everything, top, bottom, everything else. Yes, it's easy to turn around and say, that guy's bad, let's get rid of him. But that's what I mean is
I'm not saying be an executioner out there. That is not what I'm saying. But that's
what's happening.
But if you have the good intelligence, and we don't have the full story of nothing.
Sure.
This ICE stuff that's going on, we have no full story of what's going on, much less this thing.
The department investigated itself and found no wrongdoing. Do you see where the loop is with this?
I hear what you're saying.
So this is why you have to have it. Because Ron Paul is what we're talking about here. Ron Paul said in 2020, when governments decide they kill individuals without trial, they have abandoned the foundation of liberty, We are told these people are monsters, but if we abandon law to kill them, what separates us from what we condemn?
Right. No different than the movie Donnie Brasco. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
When do you, as you're undercover, you're so deep undercover, you almost become what you're attempting to stop and arrest, as the word was back then for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, at what point is that transition? I hear you.
Yeah, he even goes on to say, if these men are truly guilty, try them. If they are not, killing them only hides our lack of evidence.
Right.
We are told they are too evil to live and too innocent to charge. And we don't know. You're right. We don't know the intricacies. We don't know if this is a pre-declaration. We don't know anything. What we do know is it's been escalating. Each executive has gone further and further and further.
And that Raja guy, who is he, Democrat, Republican?
Krishna Murthy is Democrat.
Murthy, okay. Whatever side he's on, one of the best things that he says, yeah, we joke about my name. You see the commercials, can't miss them. He said, we joke about my name, but this time we're not joking. Now, he clearly doesn't like President Trump, but the idea is the thing that he needs to stop, and forget about just President Trump, all of these presidents, that executive order thing, that's got to go in the garbage.
Yeah.
Because what do we have the House of Representatives if we're going to have executive orders?
I think the issue that we've run into is Congress has
and I know we're changing gears here.
Absolutely.
But it's just that that's been bugging the heck out of me.
It's the same issue, right? We're talking about symptoms. When we talk about taxes, when we talk about the budget, or we talk about the declaration of war, it all comes down to the same problem, Congress. I put a lot of responsibility. I put a lot of there's a reason they're number one, right? That's it. They have to act like it. They have to be part of it. I believe that if they weren't being paid during this time, we wouldn't have shutdowns anymore.
And how ridiculous is that? There's poor individuals that are out there doing some very important jobs.
Absolutely.
Just take our air traffic
TSA,
controllers.
right? This is
just take the air traffic.
So
even
important.
the TSA, who keeps us safe so that people don't board doing the wrong thing, which is why TSA was developed, because people were boarding with what do you call it? Plastic underwears, explosives, remember?
And their shoes.
Yeah, and little, what have yous. Well, a lot of it they were tested on, and then they saw what they can get away with and what they couldn't. But the bottom line is that, yes, that's some messed up stuff, and that goes back to the same thing. These are those career politicians who have done nothing but go home every single night and go to their checkbooks and write out their checks to whoever. They're getting paid.
They have not been called to session in any kind of way. Now, the thing is when the government is shut down, that doesn't mean that they need to just go into recess.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're in recess. I can speculate why they're in recess. It might have to do with a certain folder set or files that need to be adjudicated as well. But one of these things that we're running into always is Congress is supposed to be the one that's in charge. So when we have a Congress that doesn't do anything, that's where number two almost is forced to step in, right? For most of my life, the parties have been more about stopping the other party than it is about coming together and doing something together.
Yeah.
It has been, especially you can put Mitch McConnell at the top of that. At that list.
Make him absolutely.
it's in there. So my issue is that we have created this strong man need, right? We've created this need of a political messiah to come in and take over. So look at it this way. As they're shut down, the troops are not getting paid.
Right.
An executive order goes out to pay the troops through the Pentagon. That is unconstitutional. So, for all of us to agree, at least the troops should be paid, it still has to run through Congress. It can't just be an arbitrary wave of the hand with an executive order. Yeah, you know what, Pentagon, pull some resources out of there and just pay them all.
But I heard something that they did allot money somehow, some way. Now, was that by executive order?
And that's what I mean. It's all by the executive side, which you cannot do.
No, because, you talk about, your no kings and this and that. I get that too. So what happens is you get that to where, now here's the President of the United States saying, we have to take care of our military.
Yes.
If for nothing else, the people that he's got with this ICE program. But wouldn't you want to make sure that your military is being paid?
No country lasts long without paying their military.
Right? And what about the aviator, air traffic controllers and TSAs? They shouldn't be getting a check.
Well, and this is where
you
we
almost
get conflicted
I'll give him credit for using the pen for something good, if that's what he did.
Absolutely. And this is where we bring in one of my favorite Republicans, Abraham Lincoln, who said, because he went against the Constitution when he declared war on the states, right? He went back to it. He said the Constitution is not a suicide pact. And the issue is that we can all agree that these people need to be paid at least. The issue is who's going to break.
So who were they paying? The north or the south?
Yeah. Who's going to break the law to do what is ethically right? And so we get this back and forth, and it's all because of one thing. Congress not doing their job.
Right. Right. And what they end up doing, and again, it's going to, I'm not Mr. Red by no stretch. You know me better than that. I try to find that balance in the middle. But you could take out of context a lot of what the presidency is doing right now terribly because of all the back and forth. Look what's going on in the city of Chicago. We don't want kings. Not on my watch. And how about the governor stepping up and saying all these, all they're doing is they're exchanging negativity and nasties. So what's the purpose of that, which we talked about before? We're losing that decorum. Yeah, you want to cuss a little bit, oh, what a shitty, or whatever, this guy's a crap. I get all of that. But to the point to where it's a breakdown and you can't communicate, that's what's going on now. It's us against them instead of one for all and all for one, the flag that we pledge allegiance to, that I did.
Well, I think what
it just doesn't make sense to me.
What our representation has lost in this back and forth that we've got is they seem to only want to represent the people that voted for them. They turn around and they go, you know what? It's my people. It's my party. I'm going to turn around and do this, which is a perfect example of why the president decided to post an AI video of him unloading excrement on protesters. Oh yeah, I'll show it to you in the break. It's terrible. Essentially, what he does is he jumps into a fighter jet with a crown, and on the side of the fighter jet it says King Trump.
So he's the one that made that video?
He's the one that posted it on his official account. So
go ahead.
This is an official White House correspondent press release. That came out from an official.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. If he wants to make a joke account, I'll gladly support that. A lot of people do. Make a joke account,
but don't put it on the official.
Don't put it on the official whatever. Anyway, he puts it out, and it is him jumping into a fighter jet with a crown instead of the helmet. He's still got the mask on though, so it still looks cool. All to danger zone,
right?
Because of course the fighter jet has King Trump on it. He flies to New York, where he then unloads brown liquidy substance.
You know what it is.
On the No Kings protesters. So yes, okay, jokes, ha ha ha. funnies, et cetera, et cetera. But again, where's the decorum with this? Where is the equivalency? Is the other side of it. Now, we could say all day some schmuck in his basement that claims they're a lefty, whomever, whatever, is posting whatever they want to about the president. But the president turning around and posting that.
And here's what's more dangerous than any of that, okay? The jokes are funny. I get it. I think I saw the one with the sombrero.
Yeah,
okay.
the Jeffries and all that.
Okay, that was kind of cute. I mean, it was.
Yeah, you want to make a joke account, make a joke account. Let's go.
But the problem what that creates, and we've been identifying for how many years now, that this country, I mean, just look at the school shootings and these mass shootings we've had. We have a breakdown in mental health. Mm-hmm. We've identified it. There's no secret. So if you got a guy that's on the verge of, one, he hasn't gotten help, and two, he's still in that dangerous state.
Or the almost 30...
And now if it's you, if it's Dennis Green, that whatever Dennis says, I'm going to do because I believe in everything he says. And if you say, this is what we're doing, come on, guys. Mm-hmm. Now you got this guy that isn't balanced, even though you're joking, like, come on, guys, let's go get him.
Well, and that's what they just had.
They're going to go and get him.
And that's what they just had. They just picked up a January 6th rioter who was pardoned by the president. And they just picked him up because
threats.
He was talking about. But here's the thing: all except for the "I'm going to kill him," he was almost verbatim words that have been said by Speaker Johnson and the president about terrorists, about liberal thugs, about Antifa, and all of these other things. So, and it's one thing to hear somebody turn around and say that they condemn that rhetoric. But watch when they don't.
Yeah.
Watch when the vice president goes on and says, yeah, all those things that they said about Germany and about the different racial people and about the leader of Germany. I've already said suicide and kill and everything else on this show. I don't need to put the H guy in there too. But anyway, they talk about that, and we don't hear a condemnation. We hear you know what, they're just kids. Oh, yeah, 37-something-year-old guy, just a kid joking around.
Yeah, that's not a kid joking.
And that's what I mean with a lot of these things.
And those weak minds, forget that we won't even say that they're suffering some type of a mental breakdown or, need some type of mental health. You just got followers that don't have a brain of their own.
Yeah.
Can't come up with a natural thought. And because their hero, or who they think is their hero, who they're calling is their hero, is saying to do something a certain way, they want to be the one to go up there and do it because, growing up as a kid, they were always pushed around. They never got picked for that softball team or the baseball or the football. And now it's their chance.
Well, and this is where the cult of personality comes in, too, where you turn around and you say, look, we need somebody to fix this. We need somebody to drain the swamp. We need an outsider to do that. You know what I mean?
But either side, though, no matter what one side says, and I'm not doing this like, oh, well, your guys do this.
No. This is the perfect hour to do it.
This is just, right? I mean, it's just that, just stop it. Who cares who said it? Stop it. Bill Maher, biggest critic of President Trump ever, right or wrong?
He's one of the biggest. But he's critic.
Okay,
yeah.
So that Kid Rock guy, is that the guy?
Yeah, the performer.
Yeah, he got an invite for him. Not that he wanted to go have dinner and hobnob with the president, but if you read his report, the report card, it was very interesting. He says the President Trump you see on TV is not the President Trump that lives in the White House.
Oh.
And he says he's a different person. So is this all just fluff to get the attention, to get my way? I don't know. I
just wish a little bit of decorum, right?
Yeah.
Why not a little bit more?
I'm all about it.
And part of decorum is not just blowing up people off the coast of other countries. I think that we can at least start there. Let's start there, and then we'll talk about poop videos.
We'll go further. We'll talk some more about how deep that investigation goes.
Yeah, we can.
On that.
I haven't seen any evidence yet. We'll see if there will be any evidence that comes. But we will be seeing more and more attacks. They have been coming more frequently, and eventually something's going to happen. Here we go. More Apolitical Talk Show coming up after this.
Hi there, Tammy Scully here from Talk Time with Tammy and Friends. Join me and my sidekicks, Nancy and Becky, for valuable lifestyle tips and unique views and insights on interesting topics and everyday situations, providing nonstop fun and chuckles for all. Get the scoop on consumer news, deep dive on current events, and learn about the newest economic trends, from exercise and gardening to music, travel, recipes, sports, pets, real estate, media, and everything in between. And it's all sprinkled with a healthy helping of bad dad jokes and interesting fun facts to boot. Tune in Mondays through Thursdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for a little fun, frolic, and infotainment. Join us, won't you?
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410 Elgin time 5.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. Aurora police are searching for 16-year-old Melina Granados, who was last seen around noon Friday in the 500 block of Parker Avenue. She's described as 5'4", 150 pounds with brown hair and eyes, and was wearing a black hoodie and black pants. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Aurora Police Department's Investigations Division. More than 1.9 million Illinois residents risk losing their SNAP food benefits starting November 1st if the federal government shutdown continues, as the U.S. Department of Agriculture has halted funding for November SNAP payments. Illinois officials warn this could leave many families, including children, seniors, and people with disabilities, without vital food support during a time of rising food insecurity and inflation. Local food banks are preparing for increased demand, but emphasize the need for federal leaders to restore funding and reopen the government to prevent widespread hunger. Last week, former and current Campton Hills police officers, including ex-police chief Stephen Miller, were indicted for allegedly selling guns illegally from the police evidence room between 2018 and 2023. Prosecutors say they also falsified and altered reports to cover up the sales and obstruct investigations. All four men turned themselves in and were released with restrictions, including a ban on possessing firearms and contacting each other. Miller faces 41 charges, including money laundering, forgery, and wire fraud. Lake and Will counties have joined a growing number of local governments, including Chicago and Cook County, in banning federal immigration officials from using their properties for civil enforcement activities. The Lake County Board recently approved the move in a 14-5 vote, with signage now being installed at 28 county-owned sites. Supporters say the actions protect immigrant communities from being targeted, while opponents argued for a more neutral stance to avoid escalating tensions with federal authorities. Similar measures are expected soon in North Chicago and Carpentersville. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
You know that expression, put a little spring in your step? Well, whoever said it must have been talking about Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with Glide Step, you get a pillow-like soft landing, then an explosive takeoff. It makes walking feel effortless. So springy, it's almost like you're floating. And speaking of effortless, have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins technology? Just step in, and instantly your shoes are on. No bending down and no touching. Try Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
My name is Tricia Grosser, and this is Elgin 100 years ago today. Elgin High School Maroons scrimmaged with Coach Arthur Wheeler's Elgin Junior College and Academy, while the lightweights went through a stiff scrimmage with the Dundee High School heavyweights yesterday in preparation for the invasion of Freeport Saturday afternoon. It is the most important game so far on the Big Seven Conference schedule. The workout last night extended for 3 hours, while a half hour of the noon period is being utilized for chalk talks by Coach Wilson. Beat Freeport is about the only subject of conversation and talk at the high school this week, and the players and the entire student body are pointing for the contest Saturday. From the spirit displayed, it will not be the listless 11 that has participated in games to date, but a
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. A frost advisory is in effect from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Friday. This afternoon, sunny with a high near 52, temperatures falling to around 50. Tonight, widespread frost after 11 p.m., clear with a low around 29. Tomorrow, widespread frost before 10 a.m., sunny with a high near 53. Currently, it is 52 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers.
Hey Bear fans, want your business heard during every heart-pounding moment of the game? WRMN 1410 is now offering in-game ad spots for Chicago Bears broadcasts. Be part of the action as thousands of die-hard listeners tune in each week. Whether it's a touchdown, a turnover, or a timeout, your message will be right there in the mix. Spots are limited and going fast. Call WRMN 1410 today and score big with in-game advertising that delivers results. WRMN 1410, where Chicago comes to play. Get in the game with the Chicago Bears and WRMN.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast, right here on WRMN 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Newry with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Whether you're working third shift or you're just a night owl, catch the most listened to overnight talk radio program in North America, Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
And good day to our friends around the world. This is a political talk show here on WRMN, live streaming on the WRMN 1410 AM airwaves, and of course live at WRMN1410.com. Head on over to YouTube to see us by me and Dean DeLaley. We're talking about war powers, and we're talking about, honestly, when we talk about war powers, or we talk about the tariffs, or we talk about the purse, or we talk about any of these things, or even then, when we talk about the overreach of the executive, a lot of that stems from the chronic illness that we all seem to suffer from here in America, and that is Congress.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem.
Yeah, the do-nothing Congress.
Right.
And it is because we are so divided. Do you know why there were no government shutdowns during the Biden administration?
You forgot to do it. I don't know. Sorry.
He left the lights on.
I know.
Compromise. Every single time we got to the brinksmanship of, oh my gosh, we're going to have to shut down the government next week, guess what they did?
Yeah, but who was in control of Congress back then?
The Republicans, Kevin McCarthy.
100%.
100%.
All through his thing.
He was so efficient in compromise that his party decided to oust him. Yeah. They were mad. They were mad at the compromise.
Yeah.
And
well,
now we hear...
They wanted to compromise this time.
Yes.
Again, it depends on which side you want to listen to talk.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to compromise this time. They're talking this about the affordable health care is their biggest stumbling block.
Yes.
Well, this thing was ready to expire already.
Because of the big, beautiful bill.
Well,
so they were putting it in. So what's happening?
No. Prior to the big, beautiful bill, it was due to expire.
The subsidy, yes. The big, beautiful bill allowed it to go.
So they were losing nothing to start with.
So what they're doing is they're saying, let's keep it.
Okay.
That's there.
Right.
When they tried to negotiate, they didn't meet. They didn't meet for a good week before the shutdown. In fact, they were on break.
That's the other part. Why are you waiting 2 weeks before a shutdown to try to negotiate?
They were negotiating the whole time. They were trying to talk through this. They were. I don't buy it. We have had 2 weeks.
I have no faith in our Congress.
We have had 2 weeks of actual House meetings in the last 3 months. Congress has been in recess to the point now where they won't even swear in a representative.
Which is silly, too, because it's inevitable. What's the big deal?
The big deal is I believe she is the last vote for bringing the Epstein files to the floor.
Okay.
There's no other explanation.
If there was anything in those files that they are eventually going to bring to the floor, who is in control of those files right now?
The FBI director who said...
The current administration.
The current administration.
We'll just call it that.
Sure.
Okay, so they are in charge of that file. If you want to talk about, and forget about the Watergate, you want to talk about they have control of the files. If they wanted to X something out, they've had it in their hands plenty long enough time to X it out without even making it look like.
And that's the other argument that everybody says. Well, if there's something in the files, then Biden would have absolutely released it. No.
Maybe.
Everything was under judicial seal until January. And so we had the current FBI director who said there was no other clients other than Jeffrey Epstein himself, who said that under oath, by the way, then has James Comer come out and say, no, Bill Clinton was involved. Okay, well, which one is it?
Right.
Was Bill Clinton involved, or were there no other clients? Stated under oath to our Congress. And see, this is the issue that we have. Is the executive branch, the FBI, the DOJ, the whatever, can just run rampant because the Congress won't do it. You want to talk about daddy coming home with all this garbage? Where is our Congress coming home? That's the biggest issue.
They need to bridge the gap. They need to talk longer than these 2 weeks you're talking about. They need to be, what do they do all session? They got more vacations and more breaks than they are going to work. And it's not like they don't make good money.
They sure do.
Forget the money. How about the perks that they get? I would donate my salary if I was a congressman just to be able to have half the perks, a quarter of the perks that these guys have.
Well, exactly.
Poor Bernie Sanders, Mr.
Exactly.
What's his name? What is he? He's a socialist. Poor Bernie with the 4 houses. I mean, don't you feel bad for him?
Oh, always.
Mrs. Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, all of these guys. They don't have multiple homes and businesses. And how about their stock portfolios? Well, how do they get to have all that good information?
That's true.
That's one of their perks.
Let's not even talk about the current royal family and how much money they've made off of this either.
Sure.
But I think the issue is
the crown on him.
It's true. Hey, you know what? I guess the guy likes gold. He looks good in gold. I guess it matches his hair. I don't know what it is. I'm really going to miss a portion of the White House, though, which was quoted of saying, we won't touch the East Wing. In fact, it won't even be close to the East Wing. And now we are losing all of the East Wing. Every single bit of it.
Why?
1902.
I think that they said they weren't going to touch the White House.
No, they said specifically the East Wing. In fact,
I'd have to check. I'll believe you if you say that's what it was said.
Followed up by we're not going to touch the East Wing came it's my favorite wing. The East Wing's my favorite one. Favorite enough to get rid of it. And it's beside the point of being lied to or whatever. 1902, man.
It's a long time.
1902.
And the White House has gone a lot of renovations, been burnt down, different times, and shut up and everything else.
All kinds of things. Yeah. Bulldozers.
Well, but sometimes you have to make the changes that could progress you and push you forward.
I'm going to ask you one more thing because I know you got to get out of here to get over to
the only reason I came back on, listeners, make sure he doesn't go talking bad about me while I'm gone, because I'm going to be listening in the car. Okay?
You can always call in 847-931-1410.
Yeah.
That's the one. I want to ask you one thing before I let you go here, buddy. And this is the President of the United States suing the U.S. government. $230 million is what the lawsuit brought by the president to the DOJ. And do you know who gets to sign off on that? The people that he assigned to the DOJ.
Wow.
And you know the people who he assigned to the DOJ are his defense attorneys in those cases.
Well, I don't see how they would be able to. They could.
Conflict of interest left and right.
That is, let's face it, if that is truly who they are.
Yeah.
It's not here yet. And is that, it's one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, what's that guy we were talking about, the sports guy?
Derek?
No, not our team. We got a great team, by the way.
No, you're talking about Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. Okay. You listen to what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
President Trump knows. And you and I had this talk when we were talking about the DACA kids, the amendment there, that,
14th Amendment.
We're going to get rid of There's no way you could do that. And nobody would support that. You're born here. That's the rule. That's the law.
So then why say it?
Forever. Well, because I told you what I thought it was before. It's distractions to get people not to focus over on the left, but to forget left and right. Not to focus in A category. Instead, they're looking in B and C.
Okay.
No different from this. He is appealing to the people that he feels voted for him, and he's given them what they were looking for and what they wanted.
He's giving them a lip service.
In some cases, I think it is lip service. Yes.
Okay. Just to kind of put it out there.
It's not just to placate them, but it's a proposition where he's moving forward at it to say, okay, I'm going to go as far as that little executive order panel let me go.
You got 88.
Until it gets stopped.
You got 88 cents in your pocket?
Sure.
That's how much each American adult is going to pay for this lawsuit. They're taking the president of the United States is taking 88 cents from everybody.
But it still remains to be seen, one, if he really is going to file this lawsuit.
Sure.
Two,
it's already filed. It's just walking through.
Is he going
walking through the motion?
Is he going to get the proceeds from it? Or what's he going to do? Maybe he's going to give it to the new ballroom that they're building at the White House.
Yeah, so we're all going to pay 88 cents for the new ballroom.
You know what? 88 cents is not such a high price to pay.
No.
Considering what all these other shutdowns and everything cost the American
considering
people.
How pretty it'll be and how I will never be able to go see it.
That's not true.
Well, I might be able to go see it, but
you
it'll
and
be
Rand
like
Paul or what's his name? You get on his team, you'll go over
Paul
there.
will go over there. Yeah, he'll be able to
or Bernie.
afford.
Go get on the bus with Bernie.
Either one of them can afford the $1 million plates over at the ballroom. It will seat 1,000 people, though. So, it is pretty big. It is also going to be almost 75% the size of the White House.
Wow. But it's only being connected by a glass border.
If you were going to put $250 million into your home, would you move out of it?
What did I tell you when he got elected? I says, if he does enough good, okay. And I think you have to admit there is some good he's doing.
Which ones? I'd like one of them.
Okay, I'll get you a list.
Just one. One right now. He's done so much. Just one.
I will bring some good that he has.
That's true.
If nothing else, he's getting people to talk. If nothing else, he's waking up America that there is two sides. If nothing else, he's exposing not only I don't want to do the Democrat-Republican thing, but we'll just talk about the worthless old-timers and the corruption, we'll call it that is inside Congress.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be organized to be corruption.
No.
Crime isn't always organized.
Yeah. But I am telling you, there's a lot. There's a lot to that. And just you watch and see by the time it's all done. And I said that but again, he'll have to temper his wording, and that's the biggest problem. He's got facts in most cases that could support a lot of, even some of what people would say crazy stuff he does. I think he's got enough facts that he could put it out there, if he would be so bold, is to do so and let the people digest and chew on it. You know what they say? Well, it is in writing here, and it does coincide with what he's doing. He would get more favor and more popularity. You would have both sides wanting to get him in for another 2-4 years.
Yep.
Whatever.
Should those posts that you're talking about of the transparency and the statistics and the facts, should those be before or after the AI poop on everybody videos?
Of course. I mean, come on. You know they should be beforehand. You know, if you want to have that transparency that's out there, of course you want to get that all out.
But how am I supposed to take one serious and turn around and be like, these people over here, terrible, monstrous drug runners that are going to stick your children with hypodermic needles and whatever else, and then turn around and be like, oh, you know what?
Well, it was no different than they were eating the cats and the dogs.
Yeah.
The analogy of what he was trying to use. Well, again, I'm not going to be one of those guys.
You don't need to defend. You don't need to defend him.
He's got enough people defending him, and I won't defend him.
I'm not expecting
because that's silly as heck. When I heard that one, I was like, did he really just say
the cats and the dogs?
Yeah, and I mean, I get it
repeatedly, not just in the one time.
But there was a true report of there was a
false report
doing that. Okay, at the time it wasn't completely vetted. He's known for jumping the gun. So what does he do? He gives that out there because it's going to get attention. And what did it get? It got all kinds of attention. But my point
and
is...
the vice president at the time said, if we need to fabricate a report to get you guys to listen to us, then that's what we will do. He said that on CNN with Dana Bash. So he admitted that they made up that report.
Well, again, it goes back to, let's go back to the ships or little boats or banana boats they're blowing up and what have you. I still say, and I want to believe, maybe more than what I'm saying, I want to believe that our government is not just ruthless killers. Now, our CIA has been killing people for years.
Sure.
We talk about Putin. Yeah, Putin's a no-good killer, rotten individual. What makes our CIA any better when we've done the same thing? You want to pretend we haven't? Well, we have.
I'm going to get you my my copy of Machiavelli.
Okay.
Where that's the whole premise, is that anybody in leadership is inherently corrupt.
Yeah, well.
Just for the position that they've got.
But the point is, you still can't impede and give judgment like all these news outlets and really the podcasters. There's not going to be news channels very soon. It's going to be all podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Because they got the attention of everybody. And with all these guys like that, I can't keep remembering the guy's name, but
Stephen A. Smith.
Smith. You know, like with him, he's making a ton of money on all of that stuff.
Yep.
I mean, Rogan,
well, you make way more money being partisan.
Sure you do. Because you're getting everybody to tune into. They can't wait to hear what you're going to say next. No different than the President of the United States.
Can you hear what this jerk said about?
Yes, exactly. But if you have, no different than here, City of Elgin, and you know the respect I have for the police department in this town, the utmost of respect, Chief Anna Lally, the most visionary person and upfront, forward person in the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't put on the Facebook or on their website of what's going on. Because if you're actively looking for somebody and you give the description and they're this close to getting them and you give it out, not a guy shaves his beard or whatever.
Yeah.
My point is, if it's an active investigation, such as these boats going back and forth, we don't know what's happening there.
If it's an active investigation, aren't they jumping the gun a little bit by jumping directly to punishment?
Well, I think they went to Congress, but they weren't working.
Exactly. They weren't in recess.
Well, but I mean, you want to play excuses. There's a perfect excuse. And it's both sides that's causing that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's the back and forth. But one keeps showing up to the White House or to the Rotunda.
Well,
they keep showing up.
Of course they're going to do that.
Yeah. Well, because they keep being blamed on the shutdown. So if you're going to be blamed on the shutdown, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to show up for work.
One keeps showing up. How many people?
No. One party keeps showing up. The Democrats are showing up every single day to this.
Every member of Congress.
Every single day they are doing
I will
it.
check.
That's fine. You can fact check it all day. That's what they're doing right now.
Every single member of Congress shows
of the
up.
Democrat side are showing up. They marched into the Rotunda just the other day to demand that they actually swear in the representative from Arizona.
I don't know why they're.
And Arizona is suing to get representation. And it's that type of just debacle that's there for it. And I don't know. It's one of those things that we need a functioning Congress. They are number one. Yeah. They are the main powerhouse of our government. And if we cannot get them to actually agree, then I don't know. How I would do it is if we ever get a shutdown, they don't get paid. They'd be the first people to not get paid.
That would fix everything.
They're the ones that are in charge of not paying it, right? It's always the accountant that makes sure that there's enough money to pay the accountant. The light bills, the everything else, no. There's enough money to make sure the accountant gets paid.
All salaries are paid. But I don't want the listeners that think that I'm this idealistic, like, the world is good. I do think there's more good people than bad.
Yeah.
I do know that crime, and I still maintain it. It's a fact. It's single digit. It's everywhere across the whole nation. It's single digit. Even though our news outlets want to focus on the negativity, I think we have a lot bigger problem in the city of Chicago than people are leading on to believe. And I think the Chicago police officers, because I know quite a few, were almost like, oh, God, we could use a little backup.
But let's organize the resources, right?
Well, how are you going to organize where you're trying to get them to say, hey, look, we could send you some help, and you got the mayor, not on my watch, and then the governor going to jump in, and, you got and even on getting taxes, even to be able to fund things. The mayor's saying one thing, well, we're going to put a head tax. And then the governor's saying, what are you kidding me? You're tearing apart everything we've worked for.
We want large businesses over here.
Instead, you're going to penalize them.
Yeah, they want to put headquarters here.
Nobody is on the same page, bottom line, is what I keep saying. And unfortunately, I do have that idealistic, like, boy, it's a shame. It's not that hard.
No.
It's not that hard to sit down and negotiate, give a little, take a little.
Let's be friends, especially the caller we got. Hello, caller. What would you like to talk about?
Hey guys.
Hey Jeff.
How you doing?
How are you, buddy?
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I'm glad you're bantering back and forth. Besides me, Dino.
I didn't have my headphones on. What'd you say?
Well, I agree with a lot of what Sonar's brought up. That's the reason why I love his show. But the problem is we have a free country. You can't just, I don't believe in the president's doing the right thing in some cases, but I also do believe in some cases he is. I think over the years that the corruption has been deep, and Sonar said, if you make them pay, you don't get paid for shutting the government down. Then that's a good idea. But here's the problem with that. All right, and it's the same thing you could say for the rich and famous. If you try to do something like that and enact a law like that, they're the ones that make the laws. So why would you sit there and write up a law that would cut the hand that feeds you?
Well, because they don't represent us. That's the first litmus test of not representing us. So why vote for a person that isn't going to represent you?
And listen, the other thing, Jeff, you've got people in Congress, the Senate, that have been there longer than we've been around. Okay? And that is wrong. So, of course.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So, of course, they're never going to change. Of course, they're never going to change it because they got all. What was that one with Eddie Murphy? Remember with the Ways and Means Committee? They put him on that Ways and Means Committee. Prior to that,
Trading Spaces.
No, that was with. That's what the
Places
stock market
or whatever
thing.
it was.
Yeah, that was different. But he was. He got into Congress on a fluke. But the point is, they're all as freshmen want to do their job. When they're running for office, I'm here for all the voters. We hear that locally, okay? We hear it locally until they're in office. And then guess what? Well, it's the Republican Party. Well, it's the Democrat Party. Look what the Democrats did. Look what the Republicans did. Why can't we look at what we did as an office of Elgin, South Elgin, Batavia, Hampshires, okay? Forget about the partisan. Elgin, that's how they run their board.
I'll tell you something. I love this show for one reason. You guys bring out things, the options, and I'm a big third-party believer. I've always been that way for the last, 30 years. But the reason why you don't have a third party is because the two parties figure out a way to make it so it's next to impossible to get a third party started in whatever state it is, and it's not. It's not us doing it. The public, I don't think gets it. I think you're either on the right or the left. There's no in between, and they might bark up a tree about the other side, but they also realize how bad their side might be. Both the Democrats and the Republicans have, excuse my expression, screwed themselves over the years, and they're not realizing it. I think the public is starting to get wise to it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at the midterms. I actually think, I hate to say this. I think Trump is going to be, unless somebody comes out and changes stuff a certain way, he might be dealing with a big loss in the Republican Party in a huge way. I actually think it's going to be a landslide in favor of the Democrats.
It is.
Because of the rhetoric that's out there. Social media, there is not one Republican out there or anybody standing up for the Republican Party. I actually think the congressmen and senators are afraid of Trump.
Here's the other reason I think it's going to be a landslide. When you gerrymander your state, you thin out your strong districts. That's the whole strategy of gerrymandering. Take your strong district and send some of those pieces into weak districts. What you're doing is you are closing the margins even more. And so with everything that's happening, I think there are going to be more Republicans that don't necessarily go to Democrat or third party or anything else, but I think they're going to stay home. It's always a race against, or it's always a vote against the couch, especially in the midterm.
And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be. See, there's no reason why we can't have an even split on both sides. Because if you recall, it wasn't that long ago the Democrats did the same thing, and the Republicans were barking up a tree about that. It's so out of control, Sonar. I personally think it's a no-win situation. You guys talk the great talk. You guys, and you give great ideas, but I personally think that it's already a done deal. It is so bad. I don't think it's ever going to change. It's just going to get worse because nobody wants to do the right thing. You know what? And that's the one thing I could say. Unless we get younger generation in there, somebody that wants to do term limits and finance control, or campaign finance control, and not let the lobbyists run it, because that's the big problem right there. Like I said before, money controls everything. Whoever's got the big bucks, you have to honor them.
Well,
and no matter what, and whether it's right or wrong, money talks. Otherwise people walk. And I'll get off and let you guys talk. But I'm glad that I get a chance to say hi to you and talk to you
Likewise,
in person.
Jeff.
And,
But your third party you're talking about, great idea. We get the third party. Guess what? That guy that formed the third party, now he's on the Epstein list. And I'm not joking around, because that's what they do with anything that makes sense. They'll build up so much dirt. That's when you'll see unity in Congress, because God forbid we have that third party, because that's going to get rid of us. And that's what it is. And you have to get the young people. Look how much money is spent on campaigns. If you took that, if you capped not only the term limits and put a cap on elections and use that money that they were all these different years, how many millions? And then
$1 billion from the Harris campaign. $1 billion for what, 107 days?
But what did she get out of that? You know what she got? A bull. She didn't report all of that billion. You know that the money that was left over goes to the candidate personally. That's how the campaigns work. The campaign, if it's your campaign, and that should stop too. You should not be allowed to keep that money after you win or lose the election.
And you shouldn't be allowed to accept money after you are elected. Because you can be paid for the campaign after you are.
That goes to the lobbyist.
After you're done.
Exactly. It's all the same thing. You're right.
Oh, I'm going to let you guys go. I got to go.
Jeff.
Hey, listen, I might see you guys tomorrow because I'm supposed to be on with Bill. So I'm looking forward to that. And then my friend Dan will be on with you. So I think you're supposed to be interviewing Dan Karras tomorrow, right?
I am.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Jeff. Thanks, man.
Come on by. We'd love to see you.
Trust me, Dan is a great friend of mine, and he's spent a lot of time on this project you'll be talking about. It's well worth. Yeah, it's well worth it. It's actually, I'm in it. I think my wife's in it. His wife, and I'm also. He used my house and my car and a few other things. I'm kind of the set guy. I'm the set designer.
But make sure you get credit in the.
Well, I'm doing it for free. I don't care. What his subject is, it really means a lot to me and a lot of other people. So I hope people tune into that tomorrow and tune in to me. But I don't know. Maybe I'll lose people because of my big mouth. So anyway,
fun.
You guys have a great night.
Alzheimer's is very serious. Very serious situation. The one group, Order Sons of Italy in America, one of our largest campaigns was the Alzheimer's Foundation, and we were big time with them. And that and Ed Cooley's anemia, which is the sickle cell of, it's just the same disease.
I look forward to talking with you tomorrow, Jeff. Have a great day. Who you got coming in there, Dean? Tell me a little bit about it. Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, Mr. Karras is coming in. He's definitely going to be here. It's Dan Karras. They call him Hollywood, but he is. He's a movie producer. He's an actor. He's got a lot. He's got his stuff together. 75 years old. This guy still plays softball in the outfield, making diving catches.
Really?
Oh, when I heard some of the stories about him, just amazing. Really, he was an extra with Chicago PD, Chicago FD, and that med thing, and then he got some nice speaking roles out of it because he's not a bashful guy. He's a lot of fun to talk to. I really like him. And then my second guest is going to be Vito D'Ambrosio.
He's been on before.
Yes, he has been.
Yeah,
and he's a good contributor to not only the Italian American community but all the communities alike. And that's what the Italian Americans do. This is still Italian American Heritage Month, and we're proud of it. As you know, I have Italian descent, and there's so much that so many people do that we don't even realize, that we overlook on a regular basis. And that's what I'm trying to bring out tomorrow.
Awesome. So stay tuned to Dino's Night Out at 2 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to hit a break so Dean can get out of here and head on over to the Metro West.
Remember, everybody, keep them under wraps here. Don't let them talk bad about me.
Exactly. More Apolitical Talk Show coming up after this.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 14. Prevent widespread hunger. Last week, former and current Campton Hills police officers, including ex-police chief Stephen Miller, were indicted for allegedly selling guns illegally from the police evidence room between 2018 and 2023. Prosecutors say they also falsified and altered reports to cover up the sales and obstruct investigations. All four men turned themselves in and were released with restrictions, including a ban on possessing firearms and contacting each other. Miller faces 41 charges, including money laundering, forgery, and wire fraud. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to handle the busy holiday season, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they know life gets busy. That's why they're here 24/7 to keep your car looking spotless, fast, and easy. Their advanced brush-free wash technology delivers a sparkling clean without a single scratch, because they treat your car like it's their own. Here's the best part. Right now, you can get a free car wash just for joining their text club. It's simple. Just text BRITT to 30400, and your first wash is on them. Britain's Touchless Car Wash has two convenient locations, 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin and 555 Willow in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. Text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400. Now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's Touchless Car Wash is the fast, gentle, and reliable choice.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. A frost advisory is in effect from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Friday. Tonight, widespread frost after 11 p.m., clear with a low around 29. Tomorrow, widespread frost before 10 a.m., sunny with a high near 53. Currently, it is 51 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Back to a political talk show here on WRMN. That's WRMN 1410 on that AM dial, and you guessed it, WRMN1410.com. This is a political talk show. You can find the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. Just look for A Political Talk Show, all 4 words, out there on your favorite place to listen to podcasts. I hope you have a favorite place. If not, shop around. There's a few of them. Spreaker's really good. Obviously, Spotify. A lot of places have podcasts now. Podbean, Deezer, a whole bunch of them. Apple Podcasts, I think, is still #1. YouTube is catching up quite quickly. We've got a little bit of time. This is a live-ish type of thing. Of course, we started out with a with a structured side, but I love it when we get in a great discussion. Had Dean DeLaley sitting in here. Listen to his show tomorrow, Dino's Night Out, 2 to 4, taking that Friday afternoons. I'll have Cecilia Brooks in with me for Free Speech Friday, and also we've got David T's going to stick around too. So let's talk a little bit about the news that's happening here. And I want to talk specifically about the ballroom that we're all paying for, regardless of what anybody says or anything happens. It's there. You're going to put some sort of money into it. 53% of Americans actually disapprove of the East Wing demolition, the whole demolition, not just a piece of it, the whole thing. And that's from YouGov. That YouGov poll indicated 53% of Americans disapprove of the East Wing demolition for the ballroom. But this gives us a really good time to kind of analyze our news. I like to do this every once in a while, and I really like to do it with you guys. And we can talk a little bit about this. Of the 330 articles about the Trump administration demolishing entire East Wing of the White House to add the new ballroom, we get an okay mix. Now, would I like a bit more on the right? Okay, of course. It's twice as many reported from left-leaning sources than it is from the right. So obviously it's not a very glamorous thing, but they are still reporting on it. And so we can look at this bias comparison from the two sides. Left-leaning outlets frame the project as driven by Trump's ego. Of course, that's what they always try to do. Using terms like fragile boy, tacky ballroom, emphasizing a flip-flop on previous statements about not tearing it down, and the disregard for approval process, right? Now, by all means, the White House commission head says that they do not need any kind of approval to do this. So that's the National Capital Planning Commission. Trump-appointed commission head says that they don't need any approval other than the president wanting to do it. So the right-hand side, right-leaning narratives portray it as the, quote, best solution or a magnificent ballroom, dismissing criticism as artificial indignation or as endless Trump resilience media loop, right? Which is, I guess, the fancier way of saying Trump derangement syndrome. I guess they're done saying that. But center-leading reports acknowledge the controversial nature and how outrage grows over the, quote, extraordinary and risky demolition, noting the increased $300 million cost and bypassed regulators while still presenting Trump's direct statements. All the perspectives agree on the demolition and project's cost increase, yet diverge on motivations and even historical significance, reflecting broader ideological divides on presidential power and institutional respect, right? It always boils, I guess, up to that much wider side of everything. And so being able to look, now, by all means, don't seem impressed. I didn't read all 330 and do an analysis out of it. We read the headlines. We read back and forth. So, yes, did I read a good 10, 12 or so just to make sure that I knew what we were talking about? Yeah, absolutely. I love doing that. I love skimming through. You'll find a lot of times that people are just reposting the same thing from somebody else. You'll even find that some of the center-leaning stuff that you find in like local ABCs are really just posting the AP. So why do I bring this up? Well, this is one of those controversies that we can use it as a litmus test of loyalties, right? Or anti-loyalties almost. And we have to kind of look at media as a giant amoebus thing that it is. And it's not always one person just because they are the loudest, they're the most popular. and we get a lot of things across the spectrum, right? If you're going to read Newsmax, I recommend going to the other side and reading Huffington Post. You're going to have to hold your nose and swallow it. Same thing with anybody who reads the Huffington Post and might read Newsmax or Breitbart or something along those lines. If you're more of independent on one side and the New York Post on the right, well, you're a little closer to center, where then you come in for the Hill and News Nation and everyone like that. So the reason that we do this is not only to talk about narratives and spins, but to also look at what we call the Overton window. What is everybody talking about in general parlance? When we talk about things that are a little bit, let's say, obscure or on the fringes or on the edge of things, when reporting and discussion start opening up for things, right? If we have things on the fray, on the edges, these outrageous claims for things, why we talk about socialism, why we talk about Antifa, why do we talk about fascism and things like that? It's because we talked about it and it became more in everyday parlance. And that's the Overton window. Things that we wouldn't normally talk about or normally really accept somebody talking about, we bring into the conversation. And so it's a great way to recognize our media by reading our media or experiencing our media. Don't live in an echo chamber. By all means, have your favorite. I'm not telling you that you can't have your favorite, but have the different flavors as well. I like tacos. They're fantastic. But I need to have a hamburger every once in a while to remind me of my love of tacos, I suppose. Great place to go to kind of interact and also kind of grade your news is ground.news. Wonderful source. I absolutely love it. They don't give me any money. If you see somebody on YouTube talking about it, more than likely they give you that person money, especially if they stop their normal talk to give you an ad about it. But I'm not going to give you an ad about it. I'm going to give you the testimonial because I use it every day. And I use it every day because of those features that are in there. The bias comparison that I just ran down for you, the aggregation of all 330 different articles all into one. And also, I liked being able to see the grade. Now, Ground News uses 3 different grading systems for things. And what that does is it diagrams have been used since ancient times to represent complex information, and so they use diagrams and layouts so that we can see where these bias ratings go. But they don't just grab them. They use the actual places to grab them from. The Blind Spot Report, they use Ad Fontes Media, a fantastic place to grab all sides as well, and Media Bias Fact Check. I talk to my students when we talk about sound. We talk about subjective versus objective measurements. And subjective measurement is your mom telling you that the music is too loud, to turn it down. You don't think the music is too loud. She thinks it's too loud. It's a subjective measurement. It's like saying that thing is too long, the thing is too short, it weighs too much. It's too big, it's too small. That's subjective description. And we get a lot of that through the news. Well, mainstream media is a bunch of liars. Okay, which ones? Who are you listening to? Even then, Dean DeLaley saying the same thing with podcasters. Podcasters are absolutely on the far fringes, even more so than established mainstream media. But how do you know that? Well, that's where objective measurements come from. All Sides, Ad Fontes Media, and Media Bias Fact Check all aggregate news from these different organizations and grade hundreds of articles and leave those articles within the grading system. So the average is constantly updating. And so what you'll see when you look at these interactive maps and you look at these interactive charts, you'll start to see where some of the comparison comes. You'll start to see that Fox and Friends is further right than Russia Today. You'll see that, honestly, the two side panels of our Overton window are Fox News and MSNBC. MSNBC is just as far left in factuality rating as Fox News is right with their factuality rating. You start to see the sides of the coin. And you start to not only claim that there is a bias, but you start to see the bias that is in there to the point where you can almost predict what the news article will focus on based off of the publication. And now this is me getting into media because I am part of media. I want to understand it. You need to understand your industry if you want to be good at your industry. So do I have the time to look these things up, read these things? Absolutely. I have that privilege. And I love it. I absolutely appreciate that privilege, and I recognize that privilege. So tools like Ground News help me, but also help people that just want to get those headlines, that want to still be informed across multiple spectrums, but want to still be part of it. Now, again, they don't give me any money. I don't even get a discount on my own subscription. I give this to you as knowledge because it helps me so much, and I do not like being the sole keeper of knowledge. I hate it. What if I get hit by a bus? Then I'm the only guy that knows everything. We need to spread knowledge and spread information. And that includes reading multiple different places. You don't just follow the Bears when you want to know about sports. You follow ESPN, and when you don't just follow ESPN, you go to Fox Sports, CBS Sports, ABC Sports. Why wouldn't you do the same thing for your news? You don't think the Bears press might be just a little bit biased? Well, for no bias sports programming, of course, listen to Big Top Sports. Well, maybe some bias. Okay, bias at least for us being an affiliate of the Bears and the Sox. Stick around. There's going to be some great Big Top Sports with Derek Geyer. He's been here all morning working on the show. Oh, you didn't know he was on the morning? Well, you don't listen to the morning show? Come on. It's the #1 morning show in the Fox River Valley. #1. Name another one. Stick around. More WRMN coming up right after top of the hour news.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 6 o'clock.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. More than 1.9 million Illinois residents risk losing their SNAP food benefits starting November 1st if the federal government shutdown continues, as the U.S. Department of Agriculture has halted funding for November SNAP payments. Illinois officials warn this could leave many families, including children, seniors, and people with disabilities, without vital food support during a time of rising food insecurity and inflation. Local food banks are preparing for increased demand, but emphasize the need for federal leaders to restore funding and reopen the government to prevent widespread hunger. Last week, former and current Campton Hills police officers, including ex-police chief Stephen Miller, were indicted for allegedly selling guns illegally from the police evidence room between 2018 and 2023. Prosecutors say they also falsified and altered reports to cover up the sales and obstruct investigations. All four men turned themselves in and were released with restrictions, including a ban on possessing firearms and contacting each other. Miller faces 41 charges, including money laundering, forgery, and wire fraud. Lake and Will counties have joined a growing number of local governments, including Chicago and Cook County, in banning federal immigration officials from using their properties for civil enforcement activities. The Lake County Board recently approved the move in a 14-5 vote, with signage now being installed at 28 county-owned sites. Supporters say the actions protect immigrant communities from being targeted, while opponents argued for a more neutral stance to avoid escalating tensions with federal authorities. Similar measures are expected soon in North Chicago and Carpentersville. Aurora police are searching for 16-year-old Melina Granados, who was last seen around noon Friday in the 500 block of Parker Avenue. She's described as 5'4", 150 pounds with brown hair and eyes, and was wearing a black hoodie and black pants. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Aurora Police Department's Investigations Division. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. More than 1.9 million Illinois residents risk losing their SNAP food benefits starting November 1st if the federal government shutdown continues, as the U.S. Department of Agriculture has halted funding for November SNAP payments. Illinois officials warn this could leave many families, including children, seniors, and people with disabilities, without vital food support during a time of rising food insecurity and inflation. Local food food banks are preparing for increased demand, but emphasize the need for federal leaders to restore funding and reopen the government to prevent widespread hunger. Last week, former and current Campton Hills police officers, including ex-police chief Stephen Miller, were indicted for allegedly selling guns illegally from the police evidence room between 2018 and 2023. Prosecutors say they also falsified and altered reports to cover up the sales and obstruct investigations. All four men turned themselves in and were released with restrictions, including a ban on possessing firearms and contacting each other. Miller faces 41 charges, including money laundering, forgery.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. A frost advisory is in effect from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Friday. Tonight, widespread frost after 11 p.m., clear with a low around 29. Tomorrow, widespread frost before 10 a.m., sunny with a high near 53. Currently, it is 51 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derek Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
Welcome into another edition of Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derek Geyer. River Media Network Sports. And what an absolutely interesting sports day it is. I mean, I would normally talk about the Chicago Bears and who they'd be facing on Sunday, which is the Baltimore Ravens, and, you know, some of the predictions and all that fun stuff. But as it turns out, I want to get into some gambling. Did you know that globally, the sports gambling industry has generated an estimated $100 to $109 billion in revenue in 2024, Well, and it is also expanding. Total market size is approximately 78.2% is all generated online. And the compound annual growth rate is of about 11%. And that is supposed to be going all the way until 2023, potentially reaching over $187 billion. And in the United States, this is one of the fastest growing markets that there is. Commercial sports betting has generated a record of $13.78 billion in revenue in 2024, an increase of nearly 25% from the previous year. Taxes from 2023 collected from all of the sports betting totals in over $1.8 billion in tax revenue. The leading states of betting and the largest sports betting market is currently New York, and they generate approximately $2.1 billion in revenue, with Illinois, why am I not surprised, and New Jersey, also topping $1 billion. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, you'll slowly, if you don't already know, you will get there. The continued trend of states and countries legalizing sports betting is the primary driver of market expansion. As early as 2025, 38 U.S. states and Washington, D.C. has legalized some form of sports betting. Obviously, you've got the likes of FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, all of that fun stuff. So mobile and online access has increased the sports gambling market to smartphones. The internet, is also fueled the dominance of online sports betting platforms, which are growing at a faster rate than retail offline betting. And then there are also the whole, technological advances as well to that. Already mentioned that it will grow to approximately $189 billion by 2030. And the whole reason why I bring this up is because of this.
But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today.
Somebody got in trouble.
The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across the country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years.
Okay, so with that being said, and that was courtesy of ESPN, by the way, ESPN TV. Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, Miami's, let me get to it here. So Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, Portland Trailblazer coach Chauncey Billups, and former NBA player Damon Jones were among those arrested and allegedly involved in an illegal gambling cases. Approximately 30 people were arrested. Federal prosecutors on Thursday announced over 30 people were indicted in 2 separate illegal gambling cases. I already mentioned that as far as basketball players. But then, as you heard, you got, I mean, this is almost like life imitating art, imitating life, where you've got the Gambino crime family. You've got, well, let's just say most likely heads are going to roll with this, because not only were they betting on and fixing NBA games, whether or not they were going to be taking themselves out of specific games and letting people know that what they were going to be doing, fixing the score. Well, if you are a head coach in Chauncey Billups, you could determine who is going to get a quote-unquote rest night, a day off, if you will. But you don't, but you tell people, you let people know ahead of time of what is going to happen. So therefore, you could heavily bet on the sporting games. And so 3 of the more than 30 defendants targeted in today's indictments were allegedly involved in both the sports betting scheme and fraudulent gambling scheme, said Christopher Ria, assistant director in charge of the FBI's New York field office. So, 1, you have the sports betting scheme. 2, you have a couple of NBA players, high-profile figures, that were allegedly bringing in whales or high rollers, if you will, to gamble at these clubs. I'm just going to call them clubs, or sport, or poker outlets, if you will. So with that being said, in one of the alleged schemes, the poker games were rigged using technology such as chip tray analyzers and an x-ray table that could read the cards face down on the table, according to prosecutors. So how do they know what was going on? Well, those newfangled glasses that are out there, I think they're like Ray-Bans or whatever. You could do video and stuff. Well, apparently the technology is so good that by reading, and I'm theorizing here, but with some sort of, clue to it as well, that they would get the x-ray scan, or they would get the cameras from inside the chute or inside the card dealer, and they would actually be able to see what the cards are, what everyone is dealt with at the table. So, can you imagine playing in a poker game like that, to where you're betting heavy and to where you are, well, you're pretty much SOL in that regards? Smurf out of luck, if you will. So, according to the FBI press conference here, that's been going on for like a couple of years, because these charges have, we're in 2025. They're going back all the way to 2023, 2022. And the gambling aspect or side of things, the illegal poker games or the legit poker games that were being played, those were also under investigation as well. So I'm going to continue this on the other side of a break. You're currently listening.
A loved one owns a gun, and for a while...
Let me try that again. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM.
Does your car need a shine? At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they make it quick, easy, and spotless every time. And they're open 24/7 for your convenience. Right now, get a free car wash just for joining their text club. Text BRITT to 30400 and enjoy a free car wash. Visit Britain's Touchless Car Wash at 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin or at 555 Willow in West Dundee. Britain's, caring for your car while caring for our community.
A loved one owns a gun, and for a while now, you've been concerned about their behavior. They're just not acting like themselves. They've been distant, they've been unpredictable, they've been lashing out. They've been saying things that make you worried they might harm themselves or friends or family. Or you're worried this loved one might hurt you. Maybe they recently threatened someone with their gun. You know something needs to be done, and you wish more than anything you could hit pause on this situation. Well, here in Illinois, you can, with a firearm restraining order. In extreme cases, this order temporarily prevents a person in crisis from having a firearm, giving them time to heal before they do something dangerous or even deadly. If you are worried about a loved one in crisis who has access to a firearm, learn more about firearm restraining orders at illinois.gov/pause to heal. A public service announcement brought to you by the Illinois Department of Public Health, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Are you looking to buy, sell, or trade something? Maybe clean out that attic or basement, or just make a little extra cash? Then don't miss Tradio on Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410. Weekdays at 12:30 p.m. Call in to let folks in the Fox River Valley know what you're looking for or what you've got to get rid of. It's easy, it's free, and it's a great way to connect with your community. Call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. If it's got to go, then let us know. Only on Tradio, here on WRMN AM 1410.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. Thank you for listening, Brendan. I appreciate it. You are, of course, listening on the youtube.com at WRMN Radio. And you can see my tired face on WRMN Radio at the YouTube feed. But continuing on with, the big news story of the day. So, Chauncey Billups, or the Portland Trail Blazers, released a statement saying
that they were cooperating with authorities following the arrest of head coach Chauncey Billups and named assistant coach Tiago Splitter as the interim head coach. Billups and the Trailblazers are fully cooperating with the investigation. Billups has been placed on immediate leave, and as I said, Splitter will be assuming head coaching duties in the interim. The team announced that would be the Portland Trailblazers. Any further questions should be directed to the NBA. That was an article via NBC. And let's see. Also, Jonte Porter, who pleaded guilty in 2024 in a 2024 betting scandal, was also mentioned in this indictment. Oh, boy. So Porter pleaded guilty in 2024 to conspiracy to commit wire fraud over a betting scandal that prompted the NBA to ban him. The former center gave tips to other men that he was going to exit 2 games earlier, allowing them or their relatives to place big bets, according to a complaint filed in his case. I'm getting to the point of this. During his plea hearing, Porter said he agreed to withdraw from games to clear his own gambling debts. An NBA investigation into Porter found that he also wagered on games that he did not play in, even betting against his own team at least once. Porter faces up to 4 years in prison in addition to large fines, but his sentencing has been delayed. I wonder why. I can only theorize that maybe he is potentially turning state's evidence. And this is kind of funny because the Operation Nothing But Bet, get it? The Operation Nothing But Bet indictment mentions both games Porter pulled out of, alleging that one of Porter's conspirators gave the information to defendants named in the indictment to place a bet. So, you know ahead of time what is going to happen if you are a sports bettor. Hey, 2 games down the line, I'm going to fake an injury. I am not going to be playing the full entire game. So therefore, you bet your arses off with it. You place big money on it, which, quite honestly, is probably one of the reasons why that aspect of things got flagged. So in other articles, it's also saying, according to prosecutors, a group of co-conspirators that included Jones and Rozier gave the non-public, and this is also part of the reason why it's obviously such a big deal, the non-public information to a network of individuals to place the bet. The bets were allegedly all made with the intention of profiting off of the scheme at the expense of the betting companies. Go figure. Many of the wagers were placed in connection with betting lines that did not reflect or account for private information, the indictment said. That's what makes the wagers more profitable. I can see why there might be a problem here. Yeah, see. I don't understand that, see. Suspects and their co-conspirators were also involved in payments using a variety of platforms, including peer-to-peer payment transfers, bank wires, and cash exchanges, the prosecutors alleged. Somebody in trouble. Well, there's a lot of somebody's in trouble here. Conspirators allegedly bet $100,000 against the Lakers before an Anthony Davis injury went public. This is from Doa Madani and Andrew Grief, also from NBC News. Jones also allegedly sold other non-public information about a Lakers player to conspirators that led to a $100,000 bet against the team during a January 15th, 2024 game against the OKC Thunder. Yeah. So that is pretty much like what is going on today. I mean, there is like so much more to this story that I can't even deep dive into. I've been looking at this for like a couple hours, but I mean, my goodness. The information was not public at the time, and the bet was made hours before the player was listed as probable in the NBA's injury report. Anthony Davis was the only Lakers player listed as probable on the injury report that day. And then they say, because there's a list of players, 30 plus, ultimately player number 4 played in the January 15th game in line with his season average in minutes and performed well, and the Lakers won the game, the indictment said. I mean, yeah. Then, when I get back from break, we're going to be talking about these rigged poker games a little bit further. I'm Derek Geyer. You're listening to Big Top Gambling Sports on WRMN 1410 AM.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. Lake and Will counties have joined a growing number of local governments, including Chicago and Cook County, in banning federal immigration officials from using their properties for civil enforcement activities. The Lake County Board recently approved the move in a 14-5 vote, with signage now being installed at 28 county-owned sites. Supporters say the actions protect immigrant communities from being targeted, while opponents argued for a more neutral stance to avoid escalating tensions with federal authorities. Similar measures are expected soon in North Chicago and Carpentersville. Aurora police are searching for 16-year-old Melina Granados, who was last seen around noon Friday in the 500 block of Parker Avenue. She's described as 5'4", 150 pounds with brown hair and eyes, and was wearing a black hoodie and black pants. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Aurora Police Department's Investigations Division. More than 1.9 million Illinois residents risk losing their SNAP food benefits starting November 1st if the federal government shutdown continues, as the U.S. Department of Agriculture has halted funding for November SNAP payments. Illinois officials warn this could leave many families, including children, seniors, and people with disabilities, without vital food support during a time of rising food insecurity and inflation. Local food banks are preparing for increased demand, but emphasize the need for federal leaders to restore funding and reopen the government to prevent widespread hunger. Last week, former and current Campton Hills police officers, including ex-police chief Stephen Miller, were indicted for allegedly selling guns illegally from the police evidence room between 2018 and 2023. Prosecutors say they also falsified and altered reports to cover up the sales and obstruct investigations. All 4 men turned themselves in and were released with restrictions, including a ban on possessing firearms and contacting each other. Miller faces 41 charges, including money laundering, forgery, and wire fraud. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to handle the busy holiday season, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. A frost advisory is in effect from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Friday. Tonight, widespread frost after 11 p.m., mostly clear with a low around 29. Tomorrow, widespread frost before 10 a.m., sunny with a high near 53. Currently, it is 47 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN with yours truly, Derek Geyer. Okay, so now I was actually able to find the crime families, or I'll go with crime families. The Bonanos, the Gambinos, the Genovese, the Lucchese. Crime families are all named in this investigation. And it's just whoo-wee. Oh, I got a phone call. Hello, caller. You are live on WRMN. How can I help you? What's your name?
What's going on, brother? This on the caller ID?
No, I don't have the caller ID.
Oh, man, then I got to sneak up on you. Even better. What's going on, princess?
This must be the one, the only Marcus Mack. How you doing, Marcus?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The one and only, the Batman, baby, checking in with your own Big Top Sports. Dude, wow.
Yeah, right?
What a way to start the NBA season. Wow.
Not only that, but I mean, what are going to be the ramifications leaking and
prison time?
I definitely know that there's going to be prison time. But, as far as like the other sports, I mean, because you already had a couple of pitchers that were suspended this year.
Hey, don't forget about the translator. Don't forget about. Oh, it was my translator making those bets. Don't ever let me. It's amazing how fast MLB tried to bury that one because it had their best player in the game.
Yeah.
How long has this been going on, brother? players betting on games. Remember the rumor. And it's a rumor. It was never factual. But what's the rumor? That Michael Jordan did not quit the league to go to baseball, that he got suspended by David Stern for his gambling. Also,
allegedly. Hey, don't forget, you got to toss that word in there, because if not, then we're liable, and I don't have the money to pay that, and
Heck, man, I don't either. So allegedly, his gambling was also tied to the untimely demise of his father. These things are open record. Anybody can search the alleged assumptions online. All you got to do is simply type them in. Information's right there. The gambling has been going. If you remember what Michael Jordan said in The Last Dance when he got to the league, what did he say? He said the guys were drunk. He pretty much said they were drunk and intoxicated from things that you might inhale. And so he already was basically telling you he came into a league of scumbags. If you think about what he was basically saying to you, I came into a league of scumbags. Why does everybody think that has changed so much when they're actually making more money? They come into the league younger, less developed. You're giving millions of dollars to teenagers.
Oh, without a doubt.
By the time an NBA player has hit 26, 27, the guy's been in the league almost 10 years. And then the guy's been playing, you're like, man, this guy's been playing for a really long time. And then you look up and he's still in his 20s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think that this is even about an issue of some guy needing money or something. I think that throughout sports, players have been gambling for a long time. Not just Chauncey Billups, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Ohtani, golfers. I guarantee you Rory McIlroy lays down bets somewhere more than likely, allegedly. Okay?
Thank you for that.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, allegedly, because nothing can be proven, right? I mean, anybody can use their translator to make a bet for them and, then say, hey, I didn't know what he was doing with my money.
Yeah,
right. I didn't know what he was doing with my money.
See, I mean, it doesn't become an issue until it becomes an issue. And what I'll say with that is okay, Pete Rose, he bet on baseball, he got caught, he got banned, whatever. Then you also have like the steroid issue. Everything was fine. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa were hitting the ball miles and miles. But it wasn't an issue until Jose Canseco came out with the book.
Don't forget Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Well,
don't forget the Black Sox. Like gambling in sports. The thought that a team or player will cheat.
Oh yeah,
to profit. This has been going on since sports. The one thing that none of the entities want you to even question is that someone is out there tanking their play, because then that makes the viewership go down. That makes the product not as valuable. And remember, legal gambling is very much tied up into these sports. So if the idea,
without a doubt,
that none of this has been legit, you've just destroyed the sports gambling world.
Yeah. I mean,
who can lay down an honest bet anymore and be like, yeah, that's I'm getting, you know what I mean? I'm getting the right results. Or is one of the families, hey, how you doing, behind it all?
Yeah, you're not joking on that one.
No, so this is crazy. It blew my world. I'm so glad you're talking about this, brother. This is huge, and I think it might just change the landscape all sports.
It should. And I mean, this is why so many teams and okay, we're talking like the all sports. Just going to lay it out there, all sports. You know, from soccer to golf, baseball, football, hockey, basketball, obviously, and anywhere in between, horse racing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They all got in bed with the sports book, right?
Yep.
You know, I know the Chicago Cubs did. They got a sports book in Wrigley Field. I would imagine that there are sports books in a majority of all major league stadiums, whether it be, you know, like I said, football, baseball, soccer, hockey, whatever, because they're getting a profit from it, from getting into bed with the sports books, obviously.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden it's like,
right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're talking
sports and gambling, if you think about it, I say, man, the Bears are going to win by 10, and then you say, oh no, the Bears are going to actually win by 30. Let's bet on it. Do you see how fast that just went? You know what I mean? And
yeah, but you got to give me points on that one.
Exactly.
I mean, you know.
But do you see how easy it is? And that's the thing about it, is that everyone, not everyone, but a majority of people can just make the simplest bet. I mean, just that quick. Hey, you're not going to score 60 in tomorrow's game. I bet you I do.
Yeah.
$2,000 on it.
Yep. Well, yeah, he's not going to be placing the $2,000 on it. Someone else will for him, because that's,
there you go.
I mean,
there you go.
When you have 30 people plus named in this indictment, and I haven't even gotten into like the $7 million, gambling thing that was going across, the United States, with the legal or illegal poker that has also been, discovered. I mean, and here I was actually going to bring that up because they were also, oh, come on. So apparently, there are apparently, So in this headline, famous basketball stars were used as quote unquote, face cards to attract wealthy people to rigged mafia-run poker games, the indictment said. So
serious business.
Yeah, so what face cards are, for everyone else out there that is not reading this article and don't actually know, face cards were used by the mafia to attract wealthy people to play in their rigged poker games with these famous basketball stars, such as Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones, in this Newsweek article that I'm reading. So they would bring them in, and they would,
and everything was rigged.
Yeah.
Everything.
So let's see. The indictment obtained by the New York Times stated that the machines used to shuffle the cards at the poker games had advanced tech inside them that could read each card in the deck and predict which player had the winning hand. That information was relayed back to someone at the table who could communicate through other cheating players via secret signals.
My goodness. Bro.
So not only that, but there were also other rigged games include poker chip trays with hidden cameras in them and cards with secret markings on them that were only viewable with specially designed contact lenses or sunglasses. And this is all according to the DOJ.
Is Ocean's 11? What's going on here? Oh,
yeah, pretty much. I mean, and that's where we're at. I mean,
man.
And see, here's the other thing about this. And I hate saying this, and I hate even like theorizing about this, Marcus. But when you're talking about the top four possibly biggest crime families in the state, or I'm sorry, in the United States, who do you think is getting clipped? And by clipped, I mean, swimming with the fishes, concrete galoshes. You're talking the Bonanno, the Gambino, the Genovese, and the Lucchese crime families here.
If art imitates life, all ties to these gentlemen or their families has been severed. All ties to those, all the government can do is name those families on paper, but in terms of them actually having anything that's going to really substantially, it's art. Look, if like I said, if art imitates life, and I don't know, because remember, a lot of this is allegedly. No one's been convicted yet. But I'll tell you what, when the director of the FBI stands up and says what they have arrested you for, I tend to think they have the evidence.
Well, and that's the big thing, because in that FBI press conference, they've been so I believe he said that they went back to 2022 or 2023. The one thing. I
heard 2019 for Chauncey Billups.
Oh, okay. Was that like
this goes back? This goes back to when he was still a player, apparently, and
Jesus.
It's continued. It continued into his coaching career. But Derek, I don't want to take up too much time on the phone. I'm glad you took me in to talk this over. And
I want to give this out there, because now with this Newsweek article and everything that I'm reading, and this is like, it just got published 1 hour ago online at 5:56 Eastern time. Okay, so 4 o'clock Central. Okay, so about 2 hours or so ago, give or take. So one of the guys that got arrested and was seen leaving the Florida court after his arrest was Terry Rozier, right? I hate to speculate, because he plays for the Miami Heat. Miami Heat guard, right? Terry Rozier leaves the U.S. federal courthouse through a side door after his arraignment. And this was in Orlando, Florida. You know where I'm going with this, right?
You already know how this has gone down, brother. Okay. Look,
I mean, he's getting into
ain't nobody trying to do jail time, brother.
No, not at all.
Ain't nobody trying to do jail time.
I mean, you get arrested in the morning with these charges, and then you're getting released in the afternoon into a black SUV with all tinted windows?
If the feds grabbed you right now, you tell every secret about your family. Okay, so I'm just telling you, man.
I mean,
I can't blame it. Whatever happens, happens. But that don't surprise me. Oh, people are talking. Oh, people are talking. These walls can talk. Guess what? People are talking. So, man, like I said, Derek, I enjoy the show. You keep killing it. I love it. Big Tops is bringing it. And this story is wild. This is just the beginning. So, this, my friend. I absolutely love it.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. Everything that we are going to need to know, this is just going to be, because I am pretty damn sure that this is going to bleed over into other sports. I mean, we've already seen it.
It's going to change it.
Yeah, we've already seen it, like I said, with a couple of, I believe it was the Tigers pitchers during the middle of the season, right? Where they were like first pitch, ball, first, and they weren't even competitive pitches and everything. That was, So.
No, it's everything's going to be now watched.
Oh, yeah.
And reanalyzed. And so it's just amazing. It makes you wonder why Eberflus didn't know how to call those games. Oh, I'm just joking. All right, Derek, you have a good show, brother.
Well, theoretically, Eberflus, okay, first off, allegedly. And second off, I mean, can you really argue with Eberflus, Eberfool? I mean, it really seems like he has absolutely no idea what the hell he's doing. Yeah, that is for certain.
Not smart enough.
that is for damn sure.
You have a good night, man. I love the show.
Thanks, Marcus. I appreciate that.
All right, brother.
Have a good one. Enjoy retirement out there.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was Marcus Mack, formerly of The Truth About Chicago Sports. ran a little bit over there, so I'm going to be taking a break right now and a little bit more on the other side. You're listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. You know what? I'm not going to take it because that's going to lead me to take another commercial break probably within like 30 seconds of getting back. But let's see. Yes, Jeff, I do believe this is probably going to be a betting Armageddon for sure. I truly believe this is going to encompass everything. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate it. Thank you, Downtown Jose. I appreciate that. Guys, don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning. I will be doing double duty once again on the WRMN Morning Show. I will be guest hosting with Susie C. Elliot is unavailable tomorrow. He is going to be working with NASA, and he is going to be checking out that planet out there, Uranus. So with that being said, I will be sitting in here, and, well, I do appreciate the kind words. If anyone else would like to hop on after the top of the hour break, you should already know it by now, but the telephone number is 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. Or you could text in and also get your voice heard if you don't feel like hopping on. That text line is 505-926-1410. That's 505-926-1410. And I also feel like I need to mention this as well, since, I kind of got away from me at the very top of it. I will also be doing color commentating on the Hampshire Whippers game at 7 p.m. tomorrow, which means there will be another WRM. Well, no. That's not true. It will be a Whippers tailgate at Newman's Corner Pub in Hampshire. I almost got ahead of myself. I almost stuck my foot in my mouth, kind of like how I did this morning on the morning show. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate that. It was quite fun. And tell me on this one. Hello out there. Are you listening? Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I discovered that one. Yeah, there's a little reverb. There's a little bit of an echo to it. I was having way too much fun as far as that went this morning. And I am here for everything off the rails. Absolutely everything off the rails. I thrive in that sort of chaos. I really do. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy talking to y'all out there right now. And if you missed it yesterday, I was also talking about NASCAR with my boy, Bob Mariner. So if you want to catch up and get into the NASCAR talk that we were doing yesterday, I would go back to about the 6:30 hour on YouTube.com at WRMN Radio and check that out. Lots of fun. I learned a little bit. I learned that, the people down there in Talladega, and by the people down there in Talladega, I mean the rescue crews, after that nice little crash, if you will, were very slow in getting their asses in gear, especially when you had a driver that was most likely suffering from smoke inhalation. And, his car was also on fire as well. So that was pretty gnarly to see, and if I could just I had it in my head, my own special soundtrack, because that's how I like to roll. The Boom, ba-dum, 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 boom, ba-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum. And I didn't mean it to sound like the Matlock theme, from yesteryear and everything, but that's kind of how I heard it. But with that being said, I'm the host of Big Top Sports. I am Derek Geyer. You are currently listening to WRMN 1410 AM. And after this top of the hour break, I'm going to continue talking about this gambling scandal. Because, if it bleeds, it leads. Here on WRMN 1410 AM.
This is Larry Jones, and I'd like to talk to you about my bank, American Eagle Bank in South Elgin. Has your bank changed names in the last 10 years? Is your bank another faceless branch with headquarters in another city? Are you tired of earning next to nothing on your savings account or certificates of deposit, or does your personal banker treat you like a stranger? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're ready for a new banking experience, and American Eagle is the place for you. American Eagle is a locally owned independent bank that's rooted in the community, and American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400, and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 7 o'clock.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. More than 1.9 million Illinois residents risk losing their SNAP food benefits starting November 1st if the federal government shutdown continues, as the U.S. Department of Agriculture has halted funding for November SNAP payments. Illinois officials warn this could leave many families, including children, seniors, and people with disabilities, without vital food support during a time of rising food insecurity and inflation. Local food banks are preparing for increased demand, but emphasize the need for federal leaders to restore funding and reopen the government to prevent widespread hunger. Last week, former and current Campton Hills police officers, including ex-police chief Stephen Miller, were indicted for allegedly selling guns illegally from the police evidence room between 2018 and 2023. Prosecutors say they also falsified and altered reports to cover up the sales and obstruct investigations. All four men turned themselves in and were released with restrictions, including a ban on possessing firearms and contacting each other. Miller faces 41 charges, including money laundering, forgery, and wire fraud. Lake and Will counties have joined a growing number of local governments, including Chicago and Cook County, in banning federal immigration officials from using their properties for civil enforcement activities. The Lake County Board recently approved the move in a 14-5 vote, with signage now being installed at 28 county-owned sites. Supporters say the actions protect immigrant communities from being targeted, while opponents argued for a more neutral stance to avoid escalating tensions with federal authorities. Similar measures are expected soon in North Chicago and Carpentersville. Aurora police are searching for 16-year-old Melina Granados, who was last seen around noon Friday in the 500 block of Parker Avenue. She's described as 5'4", 150 pounds with brown hair and eyes, and was wearing a black hoodie and black pants. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Aurora Police Department's Investigations Division. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you?
I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. Lake and Will counties have joined a growing number of local governments, including Chicago and Cook County, in banning federal immigration officials from using their properties for civil enforcement activities. The Lake County Board recently approved the move in a 14-5 vote, with signage now being installed at 28 county-owned sites. Supporters say the actions protect immigrant communities from being targeted, while opponents argued for a more neutral stance to avoid escalating tensions with federal authorities. Similar measures are expected soon in North Chicago and Carpentersville. Aurora police are searching for 16-year-old Melina Granados, who was last seen around noon Friday in the 500 block of Parker Avenue. She's described as 5'4", 150 pounds with brown hair and eyes, and was wearing a black hoodie and black pants. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Aurora Police Department's Investigations Division. More than 1.9 million Illinois residents risk losing their SNAP food benefits starting November 1st if the federal government shutdown continues.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. A frost advisory is in effect from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Friday. Tonight, widespread frost after 11 p.m., mostly clear with a low around 29. Tomorrow, widespread frost before 10 a.m., sunny with a high near 53. Currently, it is 47 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Join your co-hosts Mike Tooman and Paul Burvid on our weekly radio hour, Chief Guard of the Republic, where we talk about all things national security, defense, personal security, safety, and dealing with law enforcement situations. Call in 847-931-1410. Ask us questions. We will get you answers. Every week, Saturday, noon to 1 on 1410 AM WRMN Elgin. Streaming on WRMN1410.com. Chat with us on WRMN's YouTube live channel.
Fitting in shouldn't be hard, whether in life, on the court, or in the classroom. At Elgin Community College, you could find your place alongside those expanding their horizons, exploring rewarding careers, and achieving their dreams. A place for doers, thinkers, and believers. At ECC, we see you, we believe in you, and you'll fit right in. Learn more at elgin.edu/belong.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derek Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. I found a new button. I like pushing it. What can I say? Any hootie. So, apparently, in coming across this article here Again, it's from NBC News that just crossed the wire, updated 6:21 p.m. in the Central Standard Time. As I was talking with Marcus Mack, that past half hour or so in regarding to this, and he was in fact correct that in the middle of a game in Vegas in April 2019, the orchestrators of the plot realized that they had a problem because Chauncey Billups was winning too many improbable hands. And the streak, well, it surely drew some suspicion. And because of maybe the illegal, supposedly, theoretical, allegedly, winnings and playings of one Chauncey Billups, he had to, do something that any professional athlete or any athlete worth their salt absolutely hates doing. And that is to lose. Not only lose, but lose on purpose. And that's the only way the criminal enterprise could keep raking in the cash. So this goes all the way back to 2019, right? Yep. So $7 million over 6 years, prosecutors, say that this is what they raked in from the illegal gambling operations using Billups, Terry Rozier, and others that were charged and quite possibly, and I am saying possibly, used as faces to bring in high rollers. Now, the extraordinary federal takedown led to the arrest of more than 30 people across 11 states on charges including wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, and illegal gambling. FBI Director Kash Patel said at the news conference. Now, I already mentioned the crime families involved in this, but it's just so fun to say. Well, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't not say them, but the Bonanno, the Gambino, the Genovese, the Lucchese crime families. And it tickles me to no end. I could only imagine, and I'll probably do my research tonight on these names and what they actually mean, because some of the nicknames seem to be straight out of the movies like Goodfellas or Casino or The Irishman. You have nicknames like The Wrestler. You can imagine that. Maybe he was a wrestler back in the day. Or maybe he just puts people in wrestling holds in a not so fun type of way. Then there's Juice. Okay, I have absolutely no idea. Maybe he just likes juice. Then there's Big Bruce. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a 5'3", 98-pound, little person or something. But then again, it could be like a 450 pound, 6'7" giant or something, as big as a, Bruce or spruce tree. It's just, play of words on there. And then you also have and Pookie. So there's that. So I already mentioned Operation Nothing But Net. But then there was also another operation. Oh, yeah. In another case, it was also called, in the second case, it was dubbed Operation Royal Flush. I mean, I just can't get enough of this. I love crime movies. I love crime dramas. I love all of that stuff. However, the caveat being, they are movies based on real participants and real actors, and I'm not exactly saying real actors like Robert De Niro or Joe Pesci. I'm talking like, from the Lucchese family or the Gambino family, or the people that you don't want pissed off at you. Those kind of families. And then that was also, there are 31 defendants of a plot to rig those underground poker games, set to steal millions of dollars from games that backed by four of the five families. I mean, this is, as I was saying, this is the tip of the iceberg, because and I do believe, I am sure that this is going to be the first domino to fall, because let's make no mistake about it. The FBI, the Department of, or the DOJ, they don't arrest people without actually having facts and having built the case against these actors. They have them trying to skate around this one. They probably have the evidence that would support all of these arrests. And in this, there's a oh yeah, I'm going to put this up on the screen so everyone can see it on the tube. At least I'm trying to. Screen. So, there we go. So, if you are following along on YouTube, or you could go back on YouTube and check it, you've got the United States of America against Ernest Aiello, Nelson Alvarez, also known as Spanish G, Luis Apicilia, also known as Lou App, Omar Adawaha, or I have no idea how you say that, also known as Flapper Poker and Flappy. Then you have Saul Beecher, Chauncey Billups, Matthew Dadino, also known as Maddie and the Wrestler. Oh, okay. Eric Ernest, also known as Spook. Lee Fama, John Gallo, Marco Garzon, Thomas Geraldo, also known as Juice, Jamie Gillette, Tony Goodson, also known as Black Tony. That doesn't sound very pleasing. Kenny Han, or Han, Shane Hennin, also known as Sugar, Osmond Hadi, also known as the Albanian Bruce and Big Bruce, Horato Hugh, also known as H, Zhen Hugh, also known as Jonathan Chan, Jonathan Hugh, Screwley, and Stanley. And this information is courtesy of NBCnews.com. It really is art, life imitating art, imitating life. I mean, back and forth and to and fro and all of that. And my goodness. And I just hope, because I'm going to send it to break right now because I really want to see and do a little bit more research before I continue talking about this. But you are currently listening to yours truly, Derek Geyer, on Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. That's 800-785-1673.
Clutter happens, but junk doesn't have to weigh you down. At the Junk Luggers, we're your full-service junk removal and hauling pros, tackling everything from single-item pickups to major cleanouts. We handle the heavy lifting, and with our commitment to the green way, we rehome and recycle to keep your unwanted items out of landfills. So, whether you're clearing out the garage, downsizing, or saying goodbye to old furniture, we make the process eco-friendly and easy. Call 1-800-LUGJUNK or visit junkluggers.com today. Let's save your space and the planet together.
Listen this Sunday afternoon to Handle on the Law.
I know we're at an at-will date, but for making a comment, like, hey, your hair looks good. And then I got a call from HR saying, hey, you know what, you're under investigation. Do I have any recourse?
Were you fired?
No, not yet.
The problem, Eddie, is they can fire you for any reason they want. They literally can wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm a little bored this morning. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire Eddie for no reason. Yep, he can do that. Yeah, that's California. Yep, welcome.
It's Handle on the Law this Sunday afternoon from 4 to 7 right here on WRMN.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. So what I wanted to look up was how much money the individual Big Four, let's say, were going to be making as far as the influx of revenue due to sports betting and gambling. And in the quick search that I have, it is, okay, so based on studies from the American Gaming Association, the AGA, the four major North American sports leagues are projected to earn a collective $4.2 billion annually from legalized sports gambling. More recent data shows how individual leagues have earned hundreds of millions of dollars from gambling partnerships and the increased engagement it brings. So, you know, as I was talking before, we're talking the DraftKings, the FanDuels, the MGMs, the Caesars, the whatevers. those are just the four major that I could think of, like off the top of my head. You have the data rights, the charging fees to sportsbooks for access to official league data. You have all of the sponsorship deals and everything with that. Not only that, but you have the sports books that are in places like, I don't know, Wrigley Field? That was not a question. That was actually supposed to be a statement. Let me try that again. I don't know, Wrigley Field, for instance? Now, with that being said, the National Football League, according to this, $2.3 billion. And that was a report from August of 2025, indicated that the NFL earned $132 million in gambling-related sponsorships alone in 2023. Major League Baseball, $1.1 billion. The National Basketball Association, kind of funny that it's the third most, but it's $585 million that they receive. And news reports from early 2024 and 2025 noted that the NBA was bringing in approximately $167 million in annual revenue just from sports betting partnerships. Then you get to the NHL and their partnerships, they're making $216 million off of it. No surprise that the big dog with the big cut is the NFL. I'm kind of surprised, actually, that MLB is outdoing the NBA by almost, a little bit less than half. But with that being said, getting back to the NHL are raking in $216 million. And by March of 2025, partnerships with major betting operators were reportedly generating over $150 million annually for the NHL. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I had to hit the mute button on myself because I was coughing. But with this, and this is all after 2018. So what's after 2018, 2019, when all of this was supposed to start happening? So back in 2018, the Supreme Court's 2018 decision to overturn the federal ban on sports betting. Ruh-roh, Raggy. The Professional and Amateur Sports Protection Act, PASPA, P-A-S-P-A, prompted a major shift in how sports leagues approach gambling. Once staunch opponents of sports betting, leagues rapidly formed partnerships to capitalize on the new revenue stream. As a result, gambling has become a central component of modern professional sports business model. What does that mean? Modern professional sports business model. I don't know. The fact that you could bet on an NFL game whether or not they're going to run the ball, pass the ball, score a touchdown, intercept it, do all the parlays, do all of the side action, what color the Gatorade's going to be, are they going to throw in baseball? Are they going to throw a ball or a strike on the first pitch of an inning? Is such and such player going to hit a first pitch home run? Is a certain player going to hit a free throw? I don't know, Angel Reese. There was that going around on TikTok back in the summer months, where a bunch of guys just constantly bet against Angel Reese from hitting any points, and if she missed her first shot, then they won. And I think they had like a crazy streak of 9 or 10 games in a row where she just didn't hit her first shot. But yet, by that prop bet, they won money. So, yeah. I mean, and to think that $13.7 billion was the revenue in 2024 for all of sports betting. I mean, at least according to this ESPN.com article and Doug Greenberg. And that was up an additional $2.67 billion over 2023. And let me tell you something, baby. It is only going to go up from here. I used to do the whole sports betting thing. Then I realized I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I stopped doing the sports betting thing. But let me tell you, if you got like a fin or something to place on a bet, or like I don't know, like a 7 or 8 game parlay that's going to give you a $1,000 payout for $5, okay, why not? Sounds good. If I actually knew what the hell I was doing. I don't, so I don't bet. It's just as simple as that. Coming up after this break, I will be diving in to the Chicago Bears and the Baltimore Ravens for this Sunday's matchup. You're currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. Aurora police are searching for 16-year-old Melina Granados, who was last seen around noon Friday in the 500 block of Parker Avenue. She's described as 5'4", 150 pounds with brown hair and eyes, and was wearing a black hoodie and black pants. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Aurora Police Department's Investigations Division. More than 1.9 million Illinois residents risk losing their SNAP food benefits starting November 1st if the federal government shutdown continues, as the U.S. Department of Agriculture has halted funding for November SNAP payments. Illinois officials warn this could leave many families, including children, seniors, and people with disabilities, without vital food support during a time of rising food insecurity and inflation. Local food banks are preparing for increased demand, but emphasize the need for federal leaders to restore funding and reopen the government to prevent widespread hunger. Last week, former and current Campton Hills police officers, including ex-police chief Stephen Miller, were indicted for allegedly selling guns illegally from the police evidence room between 2018 and 2023. Prosecutors say they also falsified and altered reports to cover up the sales and obstruct investigations. All 4 men turned themselves in and were released with restrictions, including a ban on possessing firearms and contacting each other. Miller faces 41 charges, including money laundering, forgery, and wire fraud. Lake and Will counties have joined a growing number of local governments, including Chicago and Cook County, in banning federal immigration officials from using their properties for civil enforcement activities. The Lake County Board recently approved the move in a 14-5 vote, with signage now being installed at 28 county-owned sites. Supporters say the actions protect immigrant communities from being targeted, while opponents argued for a more neutral stance to avoid escalating tensions with federal authorities. Similar measures are expected soon in North Chicago and Carpentersville. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
You know that expression, put a little spring in your step? Well, whoever said it must have been talking about Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with Glide Step, you get a pillow-like soft landing, then an explosive takeoff. It makes walking feel effortless. So springy, it's almost like you're floating. And speaking of effortless, have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins technology? Just step in, and instantly your shoes are on. No bending down and no touching. Try Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
This is Will Walker with your Fox Valley forecast. Brought to you by Rain-X. Sub-freezing temperatures expected from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Friday. Tonight, widespread frost after 11 p.m. Mostly clear with a low around 29. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 53. And temperatures falling to around 51 in the afternoon. Currently, it is 44 with clear skies. With your Fox Valley forecast, I'm Will Walker on WRMN, the talk of the town.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride.
All right, you already know this theme song here. I'm just going to mute that a little bit right there. Just for the simple fact that I know I said after the break I was going to be coming back and I was going to be talking Chicago Bears taking on the Baltimore Ravens. However, in keeping with the theme so far of this evening and Big Top Sports show here on WRMN 1410 AM, the NBA season started last night. I'm sure everyone's well aware of that one. And the Bulls eked out a 115-111 victory over the Detroit Pistons. Appeared to be a pretty good game, although Detroit tried to do everything that they could in their power to rally in that fourth quarter, outscoring the Bulls 32-21 in that fourth. But the Bulls were able to outpace them, shooting 39 of 87 in field goals for a 44.8%, 11 of 30 from three. And they shot 26 of 32 free throw attempts, which is not bad, 81.3%. So they were actually able to get to the line 6 more times than Detroit last night, and they were actually able to out-rebound the Pistons by 4 last night, 50-46, which has definitely be a point of contention for Coach Billy Donovan, saying that they need to do a little bit better on the glass on both ends of the court. Let's see. 29 assists, 8 blocks, 6 steals. However, the turnover bug has been an issue for the Chicago Bulls over the course of the last, I don't know how many years, 4, 3. They turned the ball over 17 times, and then they got 50 points in the paint, as opposed to the Detroit Pistons got 68 points in the paint. And then, that was pretty much it. Let me see what else I can see here. And it looks like the Bulls will be preseason. Nope, I don't have it there. Okay. It looks like they will be taking on the Orlando Magic on Saturday at 6 p.m. And speaking of Saturday at 6 p.m., it is going to be Nightmare on Chicago Street here in downtown Elgin. So if you haven't already got your tickets, go get your tickets. That's all. But it should be a rip-roaring, howling good time for all of you ghouls and goblins that are out there. And yes, I forgot to turn on the YouTube feed, but that is all right. Yeah, it's all right. That's all right. That's okay. The Bears are going to play on Sunday. Yep, I just did that. Okay, so as far as, well, a couple of red flags as far as the Bears are concerned. Back to the injury report. We've got Roschon Johnson and tight end running back. Okay, take two. Running back Roschon Johnson and tight end Cole Kmet are both dealing with back issues and did not practice today, so that is going to be an issue. Then you also have left tackle Braxton Jones. He remains sidelined with a knee issue. Then the other one that I am very disappointed is cornerback Tyreek Stevenson, who has been doing a stellar job over the last 4 games, but he is suffering from a shoulder injury from that game against the New Orleans Saints. And then veteran guard Joe Tooney, he was listed as a rest day, so apparently there's no need to panic on that one. And then as far as limited participants in practice, you've got linebacker Tremaine Edmonds. He is dealing with an ankle injury, and he is trying to fight through that. And then you got, nickelback Kyler Gordon, who is dealing with a groin and calf issue. Apparently, that's been hindering his explosiveness. And then you also have DJ Moore. Apparently, his hip is bothering him. And yeah, let's see if he's not 100%. Yep. Oh, then you also have running back DeAndre Swift, who's also suffering from a groin issue. They were both, Tremaine Edmonds, nickelback Kyler Gordon, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift were all limited in practice today. And then, let's see. For the defense, defensive end Austin Booker and linebacker Aman Amagaji were both full participating in practice today. And then it also looked like Grady Jarrett is ready to suit up. Oh, thank goodness. We need a little bit more up there as far as the defensive line goes, even though that they've been doing pretty good. But, I mean, when you got the beast running back, Derrick Henry, coming to town of the Baltimore Ravens, you need all that upfront firepower that you can get. And not to overlook the fact that, there's that certain quarterback as well, Lamar Jackson. Well, he was out there on the practice field today for the Ravens. So if he continues to trend up, it looks like he might actually be playing. And with the 1-5 record that the Baltimore Ravens currently have, they need all the help that they can get. And we all know, or should at least all know, that if Lamar Jackson is playing on Sunday against the Bears, their chances of winning that game against the Bears rise dramatically. Okay, getting back to the Chicago Bears injuries, Cairo Santos, he was listed, his thigh injury was listed, but he practiced in full today, meaning the Chicago Bears special team could be in decent shape. And then cornerback Nashawn Wright, with his hip issue, was also a full participant in practice. So that is a decent note as far as the secondary is concerned for the Chicago Bears. Yeah, so it's kind of, I don't want to get too down, because last week DJ Moore played after coming off of an injury and a hospital visit, no less, when he came after the game, after the Washington Commanders game. Jeez Louise. And then, of course, the obvious DeAndre Swift, who had one hell of a game against the Saints. You don't want to see him hurt. So I hope it's just a tweak or something, but you also want to keep an eye on him, because damn, he looked good last week, actually running north and south. Coaching has really picked up on that one. And then the bruiser, Tremaine Edmonds. So I'm pretty sure all those three guys are going to be pushing through whatever injuries or whatever nagging stuff that they've got going on. But yeah. And then as far as Ben Johnson goes and defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, they'll need to make adjustments accordingly due to the fact that there's more snaps to the younger players like Austin Booker and Nashawn Wright, while also hoping that Caleb Williams can come through and extend some plays this week, or actually get his footwork and timing correct. So there's that as well. And let me see, as far as the injury report from the Baltimore Ravens, as I said, as I've gone over, I guess they need to keep it on there for a couple of days, considering that they were hurt. But really, the main question right now is Lamar Jackson. He was limited yesterday. He was limited today. And all the other guys that I was talking about yesterday, they're all full go, except wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. He had an illness, and he did not participate in practice today. And yeah, unfortunately, the Baltimore Ravens are getting healthy a week too soon. You're currently listening to yours truly, Derek Geyer, on Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. Wrapping it up on the other side of this break.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin, or head to their website at caneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0000 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit caneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Looking for a seed buying experience that's more humanized? Ready to trade a company that's oversized for an independent brand that's right-sized? Searching for elite hybrids that have been optimized, tested in your geography, and localized? Did we run out of words that rhyme, so now we have to use metaphysicized? Maybe so. But if you answered yes to any of these questions, then it's probably time you get Wiffleized. Choose Wiffles hybrids this season, and let's get familiarized.
If your idea of therapy involves a fishing rod, a tree stand, or a campfire, then you need American Outdoors Radio. Host John Cruz speaks your language, whether it's about the best lures, tracking game, or that one buddy who always forgets to bring the beer. John's got the tips to sharpen your aim, the hacks to pack lighter, and the stories to keep you entertained. Again, that's American Outdoor Radio with John Cruz. Saturdays at 7 a.m. on WRMN 1410. Or stream it at WRMN1410.com. Get ready to outfish, outhunt, and outcamp them all on American Outdoor Radio with John Cruz.
Welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derek Iyer. And this is my last show of this week. I will be doing color commentary for the Hampshire Whippers tomorrow for the final home game of the season in Hampshire Stadium. Very excited to be working once again with Jeff Myers and the rest of the crew, the rest of the production staff. And, really looking forward to getting into the Whippers tailgate over there at Newman's Corner Pub. So come out. If you're in the area, you want to see me, we'll chop it up a little bit. And we'll potentially have a libation or two. But getting back to the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Well, really, the big thing about this game is the running back or the running backs, their ability to run the ball, the offensive line opening up holes, and still pass protecting Caleb Williams. He needs to get into a rhythm in the very beginning of the game. None of this 3-and-out Smurf stuff. None of this, throwing the ball 10 feet over your receiver's head when he's wide open. He needs to be more accurate. Plain and simple, period. Now, it's a little dicey with DeAndre Swift because he's dealing with the groin issue, but they need to set up the run in order to make sure you're able to get, or Ben Johnson orchestrates it to where they are able to get passes off play action passes to draw the defense in of the Ravens, because the Ravens, their run defense is horrible. Going on to the Bears defense, well, it's as simple as that. They need to stop the run, assuming that Lamar Jackson is healthy and will be playing on Sunday, because we all know he is a dual threat that will take off at the drop of a dime and burn you with his legs. And he could also do it with his arm as well. But the thing is, 4 turnovers last week. Hell, most in the NFL right now. They need to do the exact same thing this week, and they need to force turnovers. More turnovers you have, the more you limit the opposition from scoring on you. It all works hand in hand. And what's the name of the game? Well, scoring points, scoring more points than your opposition. And I do believe I heard somewhere that if you score more points than your opponent, you will win 100% of the time. I know, as crazy as that sounds. One other thing, limit those damn penalties. They need to watch their illegal shifts, illegal motions, the offsides. Caleb Williams needs to do a better job with the cadence, and they need to get their act together as far as being able to snap the ball and just making the plays happen. None of this 4th and goal stuff where the center snaps the ball and doesn't give it up to your quarterback. And then you also need Ben Johnson. Take the points. If it's a dire situation, I understand going for it. But please, 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 take the points. And keep on a roll and score another 21 points in this game. At least another 21 points in this game. Flipping over to the Baltimore Ravens. I already said the health of Lamar Jackson is crucial for the Baltimore Ravens. They're 1-5 right now. They lose against the Bears. Their playoffs hope for this season and Super Bowl run, not that they would get very far in the playoffs, pretty much might as well be dead. DOA on arrival. No playoffs. No soup for Jew. Yaman. I don't know why I just said Yaman. Anyway, the Ravens and Derrick Henry and their fullback, Patrick Ricard, those are going to be the guys that you need to actually look for. While Derrick Henry hasn't been the Derrick Henry of last season, he did have over 100 yards his last game, which I believe was the first time in 5 games that he's actually done that. Now, with that being said, my goodness, does their defense look to be getting better or healthier, I should say. And there's always that one wild card, the All-Pro, that for some reason the powers that be did not want to sign him. How do you not sign that stud of a linebacker in Roquan Smith? Every single time that he's played the Bears, he's always come up huge against them. And then, again, for the Ravens, while the defense has struggled, it'll be interesting to see whether or not they could take away the ball from the Chicago Bears and maybe give a little bit of life back to the Baltimore Ravens. Those are basically the keys to the game. One of the big ones will be determined probably at game time for the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Because without him, I don't see the fact that the Bears go in there and not win, despite being a heavily favored underdog going into Baltimore and playing there this Sunday. Well, I am Derek Geyer. I am just about out of here. Like I said, I will be doing the Hampshire Whippers color commentary tomorrow. You all have a great rest of your week and weekend. Be safe and have a great weekend.
Here on WRMN AM 1410, we like to keep you informed and in tune to what's happening here in the Fox River Valley and what's going on here on WRMN. We recognize the importance of local radio to be a part of the conversation and to be a part of the community for the community.
You know, we talked about the importance of community theater, but supporting community radio is a big deal too. And, you know, for WRMN, this is a really cool thing that you guys do every day, and a really important thing. You have to have a local media outlet to talk about what's going on in your town. So you guys do a nice job.
Tune in to AM 1410, WRMN. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to our YouTube